Sports 760. Listen as Jon and Jim speak with some of your favorite former Friars. Now, live from the studios of San Diego Sports 760, it's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim, and there was a ton to react to here today. Padres have an opportunity by the end of the night to be even in the NL West. Now, that's not fully in their control. That would involve a win and a Dodger loss. But no matter what, this thing has tightened significantly, obviously, over the last few weeks. Padres to within a game, playing just brilliant baseball right now, winning yesterday. And we'll continue this Padres Legend Week with Phil Nevin, who will join the show today at 4 p.m. There's this All-American game at Petco, a high school All-American game coming up Sunday at Petco. We'll get into that. We'll get his thoughts on the surging Padres as well. Phil Nevin on the show today at 4 p.m. In addition to that, Jim didn't even realize this, even though I texted it to him like 2 hours ago.
My head's been spinning all day.
But you know how to read English.
I do, but I just didn't read the text.
Lamont Butler, friend of the show, dear old friend of San Diego, one of the most iconic athletes in the history of the city. In fact, one of the most impactful moments in San Diego sports history, whether you're a San Diego State fan or not. Lamont Butler is in town. I think he's been working out in San Diego. He was on the Mesa today. He will join us today at 2:30. We'll get an update on Lamont. Last year at Kentucky, took the Wildcats to a Sweet 16, one of the most accomplished players in San Diego State history. Signed to deal with the Hawks, was hurt for summer league. So we'll see how his training is going for the upcoming NBA season. But again, we start with the Padres, who again, if things break right, not that the season ends on August 12th, but we could be looking at a scenario today, tomorrow, this weekend at Dodger Stadium where this thing tightens even more as the Padres have pulled to within a game with 42, 43 games to play.
Yeah, it feels like this weekend, you know, if the Padres play well by the end of the weekend, shoot, maybe even before the weekend starts, they could be in first place in the National League West. They're playing some of their best baseball of the season since the start of the year. They're now 11-3 in their last 14 games. They are playing great baseball, and last night was no different. The bullpen, fantastic again. Darvish was, I mean, he was great. We talked a lot about him yesterday, and he went out there and he shoved. He was great. Timely hitting. It felt workmanlike. You know, as soon as they got a lead in the game last night, did anybody think they were going to lose that game?
We didn't.
It felt like that game was over. Are they 11-3 or 12-3?
12-3. I was going to say, I looked at you.
I know.
So they're right where, this 12-3 thing is all of a sudden pretty close to the 14-3 thing. We're not that far off at this point.
No, we aren't that far off at all.
So 12-3 in the last 15.
Yeah, even better. And they have a good chance to take this series. It's all you're asking for of the Padres is just win series.
Yep.
If they win every series for the rest of the season, guess what? They're winning the National League West, and they're easily making the postseason, and maybe they're competing for the number one seed in the National League.
Well, actually, they're winning the World Series. So
well,
if they win every series,
I meant regular season.
I
meant regular season.
But if they win every series, you're right. I mean, they're a 2 seed at the worst.
At worst, yeah.
And then if you're a 2 seed, you've set yourself up where you're avoiding a round of the post. Like you're just setting yourself up.
But that's the thing that, I know if the Padres don't sweep the Giants here, and I can already see it. They needed to sweep the Giants. I can't believe they didn't sweep the Giants. It's about winning series. You're only asking the team to sweep somebody is if they absolutely have to sweep a team to make a postseason or whatever it is. You're not asking for that right now.
Colorado at home, if you take the first two, there's outlier series, I would say. You look at I don't even know what Colorado's done recently, but when you're looking at a historically bad team,
been okay,
and I think you have Colorado 7 times to close the season. You got to go 6-1. You'd love to go 6-1, but you're right. A road series in San Francisco where I don't have the game notes in front of me, but they still send them to me. I would guess the Padres all time are under 500 at Oracle, right? There's no way they're over 500 all time.
I would look at the game notes, but I don't get them.
You don't get them.
Yeah.
The point is, if they're not winning half the time traditionally, and I know the Giants have been awful at home, they're 1-10 in their last 11. Awful. But even last night, we had some of these comments in the wrap-up show, you know what? I enjoyed the win, but I feel like they should be creating more separation than they should be scoring earlier. And I'm like, full stop.
Timeout.
You're facing Logan Webb. You win the game 4-1. It's the time of year where you're stacking wins. You're trying to make the postseason. You're trying to win a division. Who cares? Now, of course, there's individual things we're looking for. You want to see Manny and Toddy. You want to see all these things. Yeah. But come on, a 4-1 win over Logan Webb where you prove something to yourself. You took a lead, Devers homers. You go back out and score 3 runs, your bullpen does the rest. I thought it was a great win. I'll sign up for that tonight. I'll sign up for that tomorrow night in San Francisco.
And this thing is real. Like, it's getting real, guys. We're on August 12th. And
wait, what?
Let me finish.
I'm kidding.
It's August 12th, and they're 1 game behind the Dodgers in the National League West. They play them 6 more times this year, and then their September schedule is pretty soft. And they're playing great baseball. And they're 12-3 in their last 15 games. You do the math. They are trending in absolutely the right direction. I think that the Giants season is now pretty close to officially over. That's just like a wounded animal. Like, put them out of their misery.
Yep.
This next couple of days, and then obviously next week as well. And I was a little worried about maybe trap series because you're facing Logan Webb and you're facing Robbie Ray. But last night, Logan Webb's a really good pitcher, and they did really well off of Logan Webb. It was a 1-1 game, and then they kind of broke out there. Freddie Fermin got that home run. Jake Cronenworth with the big hit. Jackson Merrill. It's just a solid workman-like type of victory last night, and it just reminds you a lot of the 2024 August and September Padres.
What I find interesting, and you see it probably more in your comments than I do because you engage with it way more than I do, but any reference right now, and this is a factual statement, when you say the Padres are 1 game behind the Dodgers, and then you get all these Dodger fans you mentioned, why are you mentioning the Dodgers? Because they're 1 game behind the Dodgers. I mean, if they were 1 game behind the Cincinnati Reds in the NL West, who don't play in the NL West, I'd say they're 1 game behind the Cincinnati Reds or the Colorado Rockies. So, I mean, and you know what's going to happen here, that no matter what happens, Padres win the division. Well, you've never won a World Series. Padres even win a World Series. Well, how many rings do you have? The goalposts are going to move. I could care less about the Dodgers in this equation other than can the Padres win this division? Again, if they were getting past the Giants, I'd prefer them to get past the Giants. If it was the Dodgers, it's the Dodgers. But I mean, the facts are the facts. The Padres have outplayed the Dodgers by 8 games over the last 6-ish weeks to move from 9 games out to 1 game out. The Dodgers are getting asked about it. Dave Roberts last night saying we need to concern ourselves with our play, not the standings. Max Muncy essentially saying the same thing. Padres are right where they need to be. I stick by what I said probably a week ago. I'd be disappointed if they don't win the division, San Diego. That's how I feel right now. It feels like they're primed to do it. If you don't do it now, when are you ever going to do it? So to me, it's about winning the division right now, and we'll see if they can accomplish that over the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, I'd be disappointed. I think disappointment would definitely be there if the Padres don't win the division. Being as close as they are now, playing as good as they are right now, and looking at the schedule remaining for the rest of the season, if the Padres don't win the division, I mean, you're looking at here, it's a difference between like potentially the 2 seed or like maybe the 5 seed or a 4 seed.
No, you're right, though. You're right. It could be a difference between a 2 and a 5, depending on what happens in the other division.
And there's still a bunch of time left. For in baseball terms, there's still a month and a half left. That's a ton of time. Things can change like that. I mean, you can have a bad week and like things are spiraling. Look at the Mets. They were coming into Petco Park riding a 7-game winning streak, and they have fallen off a cliff
completely
since then. That was just 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it can change very quickly. So keep your foot on the gas pedal. Don't let up here. Take care of business against the Giants here. A sweep would be chef's kiss for the Padres. But even if you take 2 or 3, that's kind of what you're looking for the rest of the season. And Mike Shilt's not going to complain. He's Mr. Only Win Series. And if they keep winning series, 90 plus wins is not out of, question for sure.
You're right. I mean, they have 43 games to play. Listen to this, 23-20, which feels pedestrian based on what we're watching. And with their schedule remaining, the Colorados of the world, the Baltimores of the world, the White Sox of the world, 23-20, 90 wins. Now, 90 wins, you're going to the postseason. Shoot, right now they're 1 game out of the top wild card. So they're equally close to the top wild card as they are to the top of their division with 43 games to play. I mean, we might be staring at a scenario where the Padres have the near identical record to last year.
Maybe better.
They're probably pacing for you. I just said 23-20. So 26-17, same record.
It's very doable with the way they're playing right now.
27-16, which feels possible. 94 wins. So that's where they're trending. And by the way, last year, 93 wins, as we know, didn't win the division. This year, maybe 93 or 94 wins is going to win the division because the Dodgers have a near identical win-loss record to the Padres. So it's all in front of them, to your point. And you're right, it can change quickly. I said this yesterday, I think, on Jon and Jim and on the wrap-up show. Just because you can win the division doesn't mean you will. I think anything is possible. I think you could win the division by 5 games. I think you could lose the division by 6. I mean, I think anything is still possible. But knowing that, it feels like as good of a chance as they've had in modern Padres history to win a division in the last 20 years.
It's
essentially
just crazy how their schedule lines up after this tough stretch. Minnesota, Baltimore, Colorado. That's back-to-back series at the end of August into September.
Right.
Then you face the Reds. Reds might be fighting for their life at the second week of September.
Yeah, sure.
And then you play Colorado for 4 at home.
4.
And then the next weekend you play the White Sox for 3 on the road. And then the next weekend, final 3 games of the year, you play Arizona here, which will be all ready to be, on their way to Cancun.
Yeah, they've already booked their plane tickets from San Diego to Europe.
Yeah, they're taking off from Petco Park on their vacation.
Yeah, exactly. Mexico, wherever.
So it lines up for you pretty favorably if you don't fall on your face here in the next 2 weeks. And for how they've played, what would lend you to believe that they would, right? They're 12-3 in their last 15.
I mean, to your point, you're right. I don't expect it, but it is baseball. I mean, what does fall on face even look like? Because even the 80 games they didn't play well when they were an under 500 team, it's not like the wheels completely fell off and they were 20-40.
I would say for fall on your face would be probably how many games they have for the rest of the month.
If 43 for the year.
43 for the year. So let's just say in the next 20 games they go
7-13,
8-12, 7-13. It's not falling completely on your face. Like you're not going to be out of the postseason spot. I think if they do that, but
you probably cost yourself the division.
Exactly. Yeah. And you probably cost yourself maybe an opportunity to get a 4 seed.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Now you can make it up. I mean, at the end of the year, but you got to play your ass off.
Yeah.
But I mean, just looking at the way that they're playing right now and last night's game and Sunday's game, they are getting leads, and right now it feels like with this bullpen, it's over. I mean, Mason Miller, his last 3 appearances, John. Yeah, you want to know how many strikeouts he has in his last 3 appearances? He's pitched.
It's either 8 or 9.
3 1/3 innings, 9 strikeouts.
Yeah, no, I'm listen. I mean, you don't have to sell anyone listening on the bullpen. I agree with that, but also in those 3 appearances, Jim, you know what also happened? He allowed a 2-run home run.
He did. Wait, did he? Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he did.
So I love what I've seen from Mason Miller, and I love what I've seen from this bullpen. I caution. I kind of go back to what Trevor Hoffman told us yesterday, which is like this bullpen is a means to an end, as in just get to the postseason with them healthy.
100%.
Like what Mason Miller is accomplishing in August to me isn't near as significant as to what he can possibly accomplish in October. But yeah, this bullpen is elite. Their bullpen last year I thought was elite.
This bullpen this year, to me,
it can be better.
I think it is better. I think that the overall depth of this team is better. I think the lineup, you could say, maybe is better. Maybe. That may be push. Starting rotation, I think that's a TBD, but this year's team has a chance to be better if they stay healthy. And then you have 4 pitchers going into the postseason. Yeah, they're just deep, man. They're a deep team. They're a good team. And I'm just excited to keep watching this team play every single day.
All right, we're going to hear from Mike Shildt on the other side as the Padres beat Logan Webb and the Giants last night. We're getting you ready for game 2. Plus, Aztec legend, San Diego sports legend, Lamont Butler rejoins the show at 2:30. Lamont Butler will join us coming up at 2:30. And Phil Nevin, the Padre great, will join us coming up at 4 p.m. We're here until 6. Don't go anywhere. Just getting started. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, the Aztec for life, old friend Lamont Butler. He's probably been with us on Jon and Jim, I'd say 10 plus times. Been in studio a few times. Spent last year in Lexington with Kentucky. Led him to a Sweet 16. Getting ready for professional basketball. He is in San Diego. Lamont Butler will join us at 2:30. Phil Nevin joins the show, the Padres great, at 4 p.m. All right, we do have some Mike Shildt from last night that we can share, talking about Padres offensively against Logan Webb. Also about the performance of you, Darvish. And I'm with you. You started with Darvish. We'll hear from Shildt coming up in a moment. I mean, Darvish, again, we talked about Cease the other day. Mm-hmm. Sometimes like you lose sight of what matters. When Dylan Cease pitches the way he's pitched, when you, Darvish, has 2 quality starts in his last 3 outings, I think that's right, the 7-inning performance at home, the 6+ innings yesterday. I mean, those are the things that are really, truly valuable, almost a prerequisite to get far in the postseason. And some of that is now lining up here in August.
84 pitches last night. That's the high water mark for his season. Still interested to find out if there is truly like a pitch count for him for every outing.
Right.
Because only throwing 84 pitches as your high water mark for the season, and it's your 7th start. Interesting.
Yep.
But it's also circumstances, and he leaves that game. They're up. They were up 4-1 at the time, right? Or no, they were up 2-1. I think they had a lead when he left. Did they have a lead when they left?
It's so funny you say that. Was he the winning pitcher or not? Because the Padres scored in the top of the 7th inning, right?
He did, yeah. So he left.
4-1.
He left. It was 4-1. Estrada comes in the 7th inning. But you, Darvish, last night was fantastic. I mean, he was locating his pitches, 6 strikeouts, no walks. The only blemish was the home run from Rafi Devers. You called it to a T on yesterday's show, and we talked about what you, Darvish, is going to do in his start against the Giants.
Where's my cash?
It's in the mail.
Is it?
But if Darvish is going to be pitching like that, that's a big bonus for this team.
100%. So let's hear from Mike Shildt. This starts with the Padres breaking through against Logan Webb, then includes Mike Shildt's thoughts on you, Darvish.
A lot of balls on the ground. A lot of times with that guy, you got to get him early. But we talk about getting better as the game goes, and it was a case in point there. Again, a ton of balls on the ground early. We got to stay with it. Change their approach a little bit. And then, we were able to get to them later on. And, Toddy getting going and Jackson with the big knock. And, of course, Sheetsy, man. And what can you say about Gavin Sheets? That guy kept his head in the game, hadn't been able to get the at-bats that he was getting early and accepted like a pro, stayed ready for his teammates and himself. And, got the base hit, and then he got the big double. And we answer right back after they score, and Curry does his job, get him over, but also got him in. And then, Freddie with a big 2-run homer. But bats just got better as it went. We're really, really pleased with that. I mean, it was a pitcher's duel. It was, quick innings. They were both really good. Darvish exceptional as well. Threw the ball very well. Controlled counts, different spins, different shapes. Fastball had life to it. Both sides of the plate. Outside of clearly Devers' swing, he was in control the whole evening. A little bit of trouble he got into. Jackson made a huge play. That was a heck of a throw in the third to cut the guy down at the third. But I thought Darvish was great. And then, of course, Estrada and Miller and Suarez taking down the heart of the lineup in the 9th was huge.
Okay. Everything was great. And it was. There was a lot of good last night. Jackson Merrill, 3 hits off Logan Webb. Like, it's funny.
He owns Logan Webb, by the way.
And every time we talk about something, like, it'd be nice to, like to see more from Merrill. Boom. 3 hits. Hey, you Darvish. We'd like to see you look like you Darvish. Boom. 6 innings. Hey, Dylan Cease. Look like Dylan Cease. Boom. So, like, the things you're asking for, and now Fernando Tatis Jr., his 3rd straight multi-hit game, 2 doubles.
Yeah, it wasn't just singles last night. It was hard hit in the gaps, down the line. That's what you're looking for from Tatis. His last 3 games have been closer. It's still not all the way that, back to former Fernando Tatis Jr., but the last 3 games definitely better than his start to August. And yeah, Jackson Merrill, he didn't have a hit over the weekend, 3 hits last night. He owns Logan Webb, by the way.
He's the only player that has ever had 2 3-hit games off Logan Webb in his career. That's amazing to me. The only player with 2 3-hit games off Logan Webb in their career is the 22-year-old Jackson Merrill. And I thought it was impressive was he came through with a 2-out, 2-strike RBI single. Like these impactful moments Padres are finding ways. 4 runs, more than enough. Someone said last night in the wrap-up show, they're winning 75% of the time scoring 4 runs.
That's the magic number.
That's crazy. You're 48-16 this year. Scoring just 4 runs, man. Get there. Padres are hopefully going to get far. All right, we're going to take a timeout because Lamont Butler joins us on the other side. The Aztec for life back in San Diego working out, getting ready for professional basketball, coming off just an iconic collegiate career at San Diego State, last year at the University of Kentucky. Lamont Butler, the Aztec for life, joins us next on Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Padres last night taking down the Giants in game 1 of their 3-game series, 4-1. They are now just 1 game behind the Dodgers for the top spot in the National League West. Game 2 between the Giants and the Padres tonight in the Bay Area, 6:45 first pitch. Nestor Cortez will be on the mound for the Padres, going up against Robbie Ray for the Giants. Progressive Insurance says if you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Get a quote for renter's insurance at progressive.com.
All right, this is awesome to reconnect with Lamont Butler, the Aztec for life, the not just an Aztec legend, a San Diego sports legend. And he's back in San Diego. I know you're working out here. Saw some stuff on social media. Obviously, 4 years at San Diego State, iconic moments. One of the winningest, most accomplished Aztecs ever. Back with us on Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. First of all, Lamont, how are you, man? Thanks for hopping on again.
I'm doing great. Love to be back in San Diego. Definitely want to thank you guys for having me on again. And Jon, I want to congratulate you for being named the radio voice of Aztecs basketball. That's big time.
I appreciate you saying it, man. I appreciate. I remember sitting next to Ted. I don't even know if I've ever told you this. You've obviously heard Ted's call of your shot. We were right there, as you could, courtside, like to your back, right? When you pull up for that jumper, you are right in front of Ted. Ted's probably 10 yards, maybe, Lamont. Like you remember it vividly, obviously. Ted is 10 yards from you. I'm right to his right. It's a moment that Aztec fans are going to remember for a long, long time. I appreciate you saying it. What is it like for you as someone that grew up in the Riverside area, played at San Diego State? Anytime you get back to San Diego, what is that like for you?
Man, it's awesome, man. San Diego's my home. I really want to be here forever. It's tough to leave here. Just to come back here and feel the vibes of just the beach and the city. And see all the people that I used to be around, especially like being around the Aztec basketball program. It's just great. It just feels like home.
We saw your video during the draft, and there was a lot of former Aztec players with you. The bond that you guys have created feels like a bond that will never be broken. Can you just talk to us about that special bond that you have with former teammates here, especially, former Aztec players?
Yeah, just like you said, the bond will never be broken. I've formed a bunch of brothers for life that I always, will be supportive of. And, these are the guys that will be in my wedding, a part of my wedding, and just throughout life. Just guys that have just allowed me to grow as a person. And, they impacted me in great ways my 4 years here. So it's just a credit to Dutch and his staff for putting such a great group of guys together, and just allow me to form brothers for life.
Lamont Butler with us right now, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. I think this speaks so highly of you as an individual and as a player that it's hard enough to be remembered at any one school, but you're going to be remembered fondly at two schools. I mean, you left for Kentucky. You helped guide the Wildcats to a Sweet 16. I see the reaction from Kentucky fans everywhere in terms of the impact you made in 1 year. What was the experience like? I think from afar here, everyone was rooting for you. What was the 1 year experience like for you after 4 years at San Diego State?
Man, it was a one of a kind experience, man. It was nothing like, playing for Kentucky. I had an awesome year. We had a great group of guys, a team that was really good. I think, we were derailed by some injuries, but, just the people that were in the program, Coach Pope and his staff, they were all awesome. And then their fans were great. So I really enjoyed my 1 year there. I just think I've been blessed to go to two schools where the fan bases are, amazing. So, and also just a rich culture of history between both. I just had an awesome time in college.
What was that moment like when you got the call from the Atlanta Hawks to sign you after the draft?
Man, it just felt like a dream come true. To get a call from an NBA team and for them to want you a part of their organization, it was just something I've been working for my whole life. Really just a blessing to just, to have this opportunity that, many want to have, but, not many do. And, for me to have my foot in the door, I'm just ready to take this opportunity and run with it. And hopefully I can continue to grow my game and grow as a person.
Lamont Butler with us right now, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. So take us through this process. What has this experience been like for you post-college? Because I know you were in the summer league, but you were dealing with an ankle, I think, at the time. So how's your health and what's the process like to build up for this upcoming season?
Yeah, ankle's feeling good right now. I've been, like you said, I've been working out. I'm out here in San Diego working out and, training. In about a month, I'll go up to Atlanta and start to work out there in the facilities and be around the team. And then I want to say training camp's going to be around October or late September. So right now I'm just gearing up for training camp and getting ready to go out there and, show my abilities and, hopefully continue to move up on the roster and gain a roster spot.
And learning from a guy like Trae Young, I mean, an all-star player in the league, one of the better point guards in the NBA, that whole process, what is that going to be like for you to learn from one of the better players, better point guards in the league?
Yeah, man, I'm just going to try and soak up all I can. He's, like you said, one of the best players in the league. And, he does a lot of things that I can take and add to my game. So I'm ready to go out there, learn from him, play aside him and, compete against him. And I think, for this first year, my goal is to try to make him better and push him to his limit. So I'm going to go out there and just, try to have fun and grow my game as well.
I want to get your thoughts on this version of the Aztecs heading into this upcoming year. I know your college career is over, but you played with a number of these guys. I'm thinking about Miles Byrd and Reese Waters, and there's so much excitement here locally for San Diego State. Obviously younger a year ago, reached the tournament, now a more veteran group. You've been in the jam. What do you think of this version of San Diego State getting ready for next season?
Yeah, I went to practice today and just seeing how much talent was in the gym, man. It was great to see. I think, if this team can be really cohesive and, set all egos aside and just focus on winning, I think it'll be a very special year, for the guys. And, Miles, one of my close friends, I think he's ready to make that leap and just become a big time leader and a big time player for you guys. So I'm excited to watch, man. I'm going to be rooting on and I can't wait for the season to get started.
How often do people ask you about the shot in Houston?
I still get asked about it quite a bit. My favorite part of it is hearing other people's stories of like where they were at and when the shot happened. So it's always a fun memory that I always have, something that will live with me forever. I'm just grateful for that moment for sure.
You mentioned kind of these lifelong bonds that were formed that season, and even that season had a lot of adversity that came with it, right? I go back to,
sure.
I mean, it's amazing how college basketball works, and specifically the NCAA tournament, because you went through a little bit of everything in your college career. You were a first-round exit, right, against Creighton. I'm trying to do the timeline right, and then you broke through. And I remember leading up to that March Madness, you said, "We're not just going to win; we have a chance to go far." What was it about that moment in time with that group, with all the veteran pieces? I mean, all these lifelong friends of yours, the Keyshawn Johnsons, the Nathan Menses, the Iwuka Ropes, so on and so forth. I'm missing a number of them, obviously, as well. What was it about being in that moment that gave you the faith that you could accomplish what you ultimately did as a team?
I felt it from the jump that it was more of that we were playing for each other rather than playing for anything else. And we all loved each other so much that we didn't want to let each other down. And so that's how we competed every day in practice and just how we kind of went about just our day just together. So we continued to make each other better. And I knew that, when we were playing for each other, I knew Matt Bradley, I knew Nate, I knew Keyshawn wasn't going to let me down, or I knew that they could trust on me. I wasn't going to let them down. And that's just kind of how we went into the season. And just as the season progressed, you could see that we played with that same heart and passion for each other. And, it just led to a special year.
I think it's cliche sometimes when people are like, well, this player will never have to buy a drink in this town. But Lamont Butler's legacy is cemented for forever in San Diego, along with his teammates on that iconic national championship game appearing team. Lamont, it is great to hear your voice. It's great to hear you're doing well. Please pass along your best to your family as well from us. And congratulations on everything. And we'll be following from afar and we'll be rooting you on. And thanks for doing it here today in San Diego.
Thanks, Lamont.
Thank you guys, man. Y'all the best.
All right. We appreciate you. Lamont Butler, the Aztec for life. And one of the true, again, it's one thing to be a really good player on a floor. It's another thing to be a really good person. He dealt with a lot as a player. He lost his sister when he was here. He fought through injury. College is a lot to deal with, and he went through more than most. And again, great person that accomplished so many great things on the floor. Regardless, though, what he did on the floor, just a great, great person.
Yeah.
Someone you root for, and I think a lot of San Diegans are rooting for Lamont Butler.
Yeah, I think Aztecs fans that maybe were a little upset that Lamont went to Kentucky. I think the dust has settled and they realize that's the business of college athletics now. NIL, money, it's the business, and Lamont gave everything he possibly could give to the Aztecs for the 4 years that he was here. And if you can't root for that, I don't know what else to say to you. He has to take care of himself, and I think he made the best decision for himself, and there's no ill will at all, nor should there be, for what he ultimately decided to do. In the moment that he made that shot, he was and will forever be a San Diego sports legend. Like, that is one of the best moments in San Diego sports history,
regardless of sport. And he told us 10 minutes ago, San Diego's my home. I want to be here forever. So great to reconnect with Lamont Butler. By the way, Brian Dutcher on the show Thursday with a recap of summer practice for the Aztecs. We'll be out at Snapdragon Stadium talking Aztec football for FanFest, also talking Aztec basketball with Brian Dutcher on the show on Thursday at 3:30 p.m. All right. The Major League Baseball playoff schedule was released earlier today. Now, I know we're looking ahead, but I think it's fair to do that. The impact of a tweak on the playoff format might be very favorable for the Padres. We'll explain why on the other side. Coming up at 4 p.m. as well today, Phil Nevin, the Padres great, will join us at 4 p.m. We're here until 6. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Phil Nevin is on the show at 4 p.m. We had Trevor Hoffman yesterday. If you missed that interview, sportssd.com or find it on YouTube by searching for Jon and Jim 760. The Dick's All-American Classic, Sunday at 5 at Petco Park. Phil Nevin will be coaching in that game. He won't be managing in that game. He'll be coaching in that game. And he'll join us coming up at 4 p.m. All right, so it was great to connect with Lamont Butler. We'll talk more about that over the course of the next couple of hours. I found this as significant. Now, maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves. We have a 4-hour show. So when the postseason begins, there has been a change to the scheduling for the National League Divisional Series. Now, again, under the premise that the Padres are playing in the NLDS. They have to get there to play in it. That's how the rules work now. So they've added in an extra rest day to the NLDS, which means you can use 3 starters and be on full rest, because your game 1 starter can pitch on full rest in game 4, and your game 2 starter can pitch on full rest in game 5. But that, to me, isn't the takeaway of the full rest. So you play game 1, there's an off day. You play game 2, there's an off day. You play game 3 and 4, there's an off day. And you play game 5. The takeaway for me is you can completely unload your bullpen. Just completely. With 3 off days in the series, you can do anything you want with your relief, combinations, whatever you want to do. So this is a change. They didn't have this last year. There was 1 fewer off day in the series the Padres played with the Dodgers last year. Again, we got to get there. We'll see the impact of it. But if anything, I think it's advantage team with the deeper pitching staff and the team that has the better pitching staff. And the Padres certainly have one of the deepest pitching staffs in baseball.
Yeah, got to get there. Postseason starts September 30th. That's the wild card round. And it's 3 straight days, September 30th, October 1st, October 2nd. All games on October 2nd are if necessary.
Right.
And then the divisional round starts for the National League and the American League on October 4th. So yeah, you're right. The schedule for the National League Division Series with those off days, man, is it going to be a big advantage for a team with a bullpen that they want to use a lot. Mm-hmm. Oh, do the Padres have a great bullpen? Yeah, they do. So they'll be using that bullpen a lot. Now, this is all if they get to the divisional round. If they make it to the playoffs, but as a wild card team, then the whole sole focus until you get past the wild card will be on the wild card. So the off days won't mean anything if they don't get there.
True. Although I think even the wild card round, it's advantage to you're fully willing to use your bullpen probably in that short of a series. I don't think anyone's down in game 3.
No, if the team makes the postseason as a wild card and they get to a game 3, then yes, they're going to use their bullpen. They're not going to say, you know what, we're going to save these guys because this will be the 3rd straight day. And what's also nice is if they clinch whatever seed they clinch, maybe it's before the end of the season, and so they can give those guys a rest so they can gear up for that wild card round if they happen to play in it.
That too.
So you have 2, 3, 4 days off, preferably not that many, but say you have 2 or 3 days off for the bullpen, and then you're ready to go, and you shouldn't be worried about pitching the guys 3 straight days.
And in the hypothetical that we've been willing to go down, which is again getting ahead of ourselves, but if you do win the division, someone will. If you secure a top 2 seed, you talk about being able to maximize everything out of your pitching. I mean, you're coming off a bye week, essentially, and then you got off days everywhere in that NLDS series. Again, does this guarantee you anything? No. Does this mean you're not going to be held scoreless in a game, for example? Like your bullpen can't help you score. Obviously, we saw that play out last year in the NLDS. But when I saw that today, I kind of smirked. I'm like, wow, if you're there, it's an absolute advantage to be in a series with that many off days if you're the Padres, because you could turn to someone like Jeremiah Estrada for 2 innings in game 1 and 2 innings in game 2 because there's a day off after game 1 and there's a day off after game 2. Like, I don't think it's far-fetched to see some really unique usage of some of these relievers should the Padres play in the NLDS with all those off days.
World Series schedule just came out today. Game 1 of the World Series would be on October 24th. Game 7 would be on November 1st, John.
What time do gates open?
They open at 4 p.m.
They are going to open them at 4.
No, they're going to open them probably earlier because game time would be at 5 Pacific, my guess is, or 5:30 Pacific. So yeah, probably gates would open around like
Perfect.
noon or
All right.
1.
This is great. So we got everything lined up now for October. So easy.
The good thing about the World Series this year, regardless who's in it, the travel days, there's no overlap with NFL on Sundays or on Thursday. The only overlap would be on a Monday Night Football, on October 27th, which would be Game 3. That's the only overlap with an NFL regular season game. Now, unfortunately for the World Series, that Monday Night Football game is Chiefs Commanders, but still, it's Game 3. It's not Game 7.
It's a product of the world that we live in. Obviously, the NFL is going to be king nationally, but whatever team is playing in the World Series, and if it's a team locally, obviously here.
Who the hell cares?
If Game 3 of the World Series happens to be in San Diego, for example, and again, maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves. I don't think there's going to be a lot of Chiefs Commanders talk on the radio that day. If Game 3
not
of the
from
World
us,
Series
not from
here.
us, no.
Imagine that.
We open the show with Chiefs Commanders talk.
Let's talk about the offensive line.
Are we spending any time on Chiefs Commanders that day?
I would make it a goal of mine to not mention the NFL that day.
I will make it a goal of mine to not mention the NFL that entire World Series.
That would be a goal of mine.
That would if the Padres were in it.
But again, I get it. We're looking ahead, but don't we all have big dreams for this Padres team? Like, you're not just hoping that they, make the postseason and lose the wild card. And we know anything is possible. I completely understand that. But I've never heard of a 5-game baseball series with game, off day, game, off day, game, off day. Like, it's crazy. 3 off days in a 5-game series is literally unheard of. And they didn't have the luxury last year. Think about that. If they had the same luxury last year, there's no Dylan Cease Game 4. He wouldn't have been on short rest. Excuse me.
Right.
He would not have been on short rest.
It was Game 1, 2, off day on that Monday. All hell broke loose.
Yep.
And then games 3 and 4 on Tuesday, Wednesday, off day on Thursday. And then Friday was Game 5.
So you would have had a fully. Now, again, does it matter? Does Dylan Cease score runs for them in Game 4? Probably not. Do they score runs with an extra off day? I have no idea. But again, I see that as a huge advantage potentially should the Padres get there.
And then the NLCS schedule, it's there's an off day between every single game.
No, it can't be right.
Wait, no, hold on. So Monday would be NLCS Game 1, October 13th. Then NLCS Game 2 would be that following day. So there's back-to-back games. And then Thursday is Game 3, so there's an off day on Wednesday. And then Game 4 will be on Friday, off day. And then you got Saturday, and then Monday, and then Tuesday, Game 7. So there's an off day, later in the series. But yeah, it's more set up to help you in the divisional round than anything. Because the divisional round, they can make it kind of wonky, and they can make the schedule kind of weird.
I'd be surprised if either the Padres or their opponent, if you played in the NLDS, used 4 starters. There's no reason to use 4 starters when you can use 3 on normal rest. So I don't really know why you would do it, other than if you have an equal 4th starter to your 3rd starter at the time.
That's been a thing that we've talked about, that the Padres have been missing their last 2 postseason appearances, was a 4th starter.
And you wouldn't really need it this year until the National League Championship Series. I say that, but if you play a wild card series, you need your 4th starter.
100%.
Because of how the rotation would work out.
Yep.
All right, we're going to kick off hour 2 with the latest related to the smoke and fire analogy with Shohei Otani. The off-field, where there's smoke, where is there fire?
Another legal scandal with Shohei Otani? I'm shocked.
Who I want to say is pitching against his former team for a first time, either today or tomorrow, against the Angels. But the latest there with Otani. Plus, again, coming up at 4 p.m., Padres great. Phil Nevin will join the show after we had Trevor Hoffman yesterday. Phil Nevin will swing by at 4 p.m. So we're here until 6. We're getting ready for Padres and Giants as well. We'll kick off hour 2 of Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Cal Fire. Padres beating the Giants last night 4-1. Game 2 of their 3-game series later tonight up in the Bay Area. 6:45 first pitch. Nestor Cortez will be on the mound for the Padres against Robbie Ray for the Giants. With the Padres win last night, they're just 1 game back of the Dodgers in the National League West. Help prevent wildfire. Mow before 10 a.m. Keep vehicle chains from dragging on the ground and never park on dry grass. Remember, one less spark means one less wildfire. Learn more at readyforwildfire.org.
We're celebrating the Padres past. It's Padres Legends and Alumni Week on San Diego Sports 760. Listen as Jon and Jim speak with some of your favorite former Friars. Now, live from the studios of San Diego Sports 760, it's Jon and Jim.
Hi, San Diego, Southern California. What's going on? Hour 2, Jon and Jim. Great couple of hours in store for you. Phil Nevin on the show today at 4 p.m. The Dick's All-American Classic this Sunday at 5 p.m. at Petco Park. We had Trevor Hoffman join us yesterday. We'll have Phil Nevin joining us again in 1 hour right here on San Diego Sports 760. Nevin is going to be with Ryan Klesko on his staff. Klesko will manage one team. Hoffman will manage the other. So Phil Nevin will join us coming up at 4 p.m. How much do you think Phil Nevin wants to beat Trevor Hoffman in this All-Star game?
Probably pretty bad.
Yeah.
Probably pretty bad. Yeah. I guarantee you there's a text chain out there somewhere, and there's a lot of talking back and forth.
Right. Nevin and Klesko and Hoffman, and we're going to catch up with Mark Loretta later in the week. We're going to have...
There's a text chain out there.
There's a text We're going to catch up with Flash Gordon also, who's going to be here this weekend, later in the week as well. Okay. So, again, Phil Nevin's going to join us coming up at 4 p.m. So this is a story that broke last night. Related to Shohei Otani. And I laugh because, I mean, it can't get more ridiculous than some of these off-the-field stories that have transpired with Otani over the last 12 months or so. And the headline from the Associated Press is that Dodgers star Shohei Otani, an agent accused of sabotaging $240 million Hawaiian real estate project. There's another headline today that says Shohei Otani's agent may have, quote-unquote, misled the Dodgers star in the Hawaii deal.
Another fall guy?
So isn't that amazing? How could someone know so much about pitching and hitting and so little about everything else? Knew nothing about his finances a year ago, the guy he spent every single day with. Knew nothing about it. He was the victim. He wasn't complicit. He was the victim, right? And now here we are a year later. And he may have been misled, Jim, by his agent. He didn't know what he was getting into. Give me a break. The guy that came up with the $700 million deferral contract. This was Shohei Otani. We were told he came up with the tenets of the $700 million deferral contract, the richest deal at the time in the history of the sport, the largest deferral in the history of sport in the world. But he was misled in this real estate project, and he was unaware and victimized by his former interpreter a year ago. Okay.
It's interesting that Shohei Otani continues to surround himself with people that get him in legal trouble, or at least have his name put into headlines about legal trouble, gambling, this. Interesting how that happens. Now, do I think anything's going to come from it? Nope, I don't.
No, maybe civilly.
Civilly,
the lawsuit will be resolved.
Yeah,
in a former fashion. I agree. This isn't some legal matter that is going to like prevent him from playing Major League Baseball.
No,
but it's litigation that civilly could cost him money.
Yeah, and I mean he doesn't really care about his money, or else he would have known that Ippei was stealing hundreds of millions of dollars from him over the last decade here. But to Otani, maybe money doesn't matter to him, and so he doesn't care if he loses maybe a civil suit or whatever this case will end up going to. But it's just interesting that, you know, this now has become a little bit of a pattern that Otani, as squeaky clean as people want to believe he is, this is now the second time in the last handful of years where his name is on the headlines of some pretty big legal and, you know, criminal things.
It is amazing, to make your point. His image worldwide is one of someone that, you're right, is kind of above reproach. It's squeaky clean. He has something to uphold. Yet some of the headlines that have come out of his camp over the last 18 months are anything but that. And if they were happening with any other player, that player would be completely villainized, if that's even a word. I mean, imagine a scenario where this played out as opposed to with a Dodgers star, it played out with a Padres star. These two massive stories and how that would be received elsewhere and how that player would be portrayed. But for whatever reason, he's like this is like Teflon. He's Teflon.
Yeah.
It just kind of like goes right off him. And I get it. He's the golden goose for Major League Baseball. I mean, that is, make no mistake, what he means to Major League Baseball is everything. I mean, he's Caitlin Clark to the WNBA is what Shohei Otani is to Major League Baseball. So obviously they want to protect his image and reputation at all costs. But at some point, at what point does this become troubling?
Here's
a year ago?
Here's a carpet. Here's a broom. Sweep it under the rug. That's what's going to happen here. Eventually, over the next couple of months, if the Dodgers go deep in the postseason or when they make the postseason, like this is not going to be talked about.
You're right.
And do I think it's like this huge problem? Like, to be honest with you, no. Should they prosecute him at the highest level of the law? Yeah, of course you should. I'm just kidding.
Well, I don't think there's a prosecution.
There's not. But if this goes to a civil case, which it seems like it will, I don't know, man. I will just say this. It comes off as fishy and very interesting. When the Ipe thing happened, there were, I feel like, a lot more questions than answers. And yes, there eventually got, those questions got quote unquote answered, right? Fall guy. But now, again, your name is in the headlines of another legal dispute involving potential corruption and money and
tens of millions of dollars.
I mean, look, first time you might be like, okay, that's just a one-off. Now you're going on a pattern here, guy.
I mean, what kind of headline is this? This is, by the way, in like a real newspaper. Like this is at SF Gate today. The attorney suing Dodgers star Shohei Otani has suggested the possibility that the All-Stars agent may have misled him in the Hawaiian real estate business relationship gone sour. How is that possible? This unbelievably strong relationship between Otani and his agent that includes the richest deal at the time in the history of sport. But this man misled him, and this comes on the heels of one of these truly unique relationships between Otani and his interpreter, where I think Otani at one point said they spent every day together over the course of a year or two or more. Every day together, they were in each other's presence, yet his interpreter pulled a fast one over him over those 2 or 3 years.
John,
how's that possible?
Otani didn't know, bro. Otani didn't know any of this. He is just this innocent bystander in this whole thing for anything that's gone wrong with him over the last couple of years. He's just innocent in all this. He doesn't know.
But again, the other thing in this is that I would say, and it's like, again, we don't really know the facts of some of the matter, but we can offer our opinion on it, is like sometimes, like you can't just be negligent to everything. I didn't know. I wasn't aware. Well, at what point is it your responsibility to know? At what point is it your responsibility to be aware? Like you're a big boy here. You're 31 years of age. Like this was all done under the cloak of darkness and you were fully unaware and you have no level of responsibility for it in either of these cases. That to me doesn't make any sense.
And the saying that I say a lot is perception becomes reality. And the perception of Otani, and I know it's not completely factual, but the perception of Otani right now, other than Dodgers fans, are this dude had a fall guy in Ipe because he's a degenerate gambler, and now he's trying to steal millions and millions of dollars for
this real estate development, strong-arming people for basically his star status.
Yeah, using his star status and his power and money to stronghold people to steal money from them.
So I mean, some of the
even if it isn't all factual, and even if it's all completely he's completely innocent in this whole entire thing, which whatever, but it's still the perception of Otani. I mean, the only people that don't believe this are Dodger fans and Ben Verlander, who, of course, once again went to his Twitter account last night, or his X account.
We don't necessarily know what happened here.
What, do you have it up in front of you?
Yeah, I do. Before people get all up in arms about something they don't even truly understand, let's all remember to not just get mad because you see his name attached to something. If his name wasn't Shohei Otani, we wouldn't even know about this.
That's the whole point, bro. It doesn't. We don't care about Jeff Smith stealing hundreds of millions of dollars for a development project. We care about Shohei Otani potentially stealing tens of millions of dollars off a real estate project.
But I kind of agree with what you said 5 minutes ago. I think this has no impact on his like status or like celebrity, like what he means for the. I don't think anyone is going to be like, you know what? I'm so turned off by Shohei Otani. I'm no longer watching Major League Baseball postseason if Otani is in it. I think nothing could be further from the truth. I think more that this just kind of, again, he's kind of have this Teflon element to him that he's tough to pin down. And his status remains, for most, probably very much unchanged. You're right. People talk about this for 24 hours. Do you think anyone's going to be talking about this October 2nd in the NLDS when he's at the plate? I don't.
When he's a 2-run home run?
Yeah, like I really don't. And I think, again, Major League Baseball will continue to prop him up, which makes sense.
Yeah, Joe Davis will just be like, another home run for Otani.
I mean, listen, what he means on field is a lot. I mean, we played a 4-minute MLB Network clip the other day about his 4 scoreless innings, and they pretended like it was the greatest, pitching performance in modern baseball history. By the way, the Dodgers lost that game to the St. Louis Cardinals. So, he means everything to Major League Baseball. It doesn't take away from his on-field accomplishments. This guy's, a multi-time MVP award winner already and is capable of taking another team far. He's won a world. I mean, he's done a lot, make no mistake, but you gotta be truthful and say this is part of the story now, is it not? With Shohei Otani, it's not just all on-field. There's a large off-the-field component to Otani that is a part of the story.
100%. And I just think for Otani, for how bad he wants his image to be as squeaky clean as possible, this has got to rub him the wrong way, right? Seeing his name once again.
Has to.
And he will say he didn't know anything, and he was once again blindsided, and people that are closest to him keep doing these things to him, and play the victim card, and woe is Otani, and guys like Ben Verlander who get on his knees every chance they get for Otani are going to take Otani's side and blah, 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 blah. I have said, I think the guy is completely fake. I don't find him to be genuine. I think he puts on a front. He just wants people to like him.
Yeah, and it's worked.
It has,
to a large extent, it has worked, and it's amazing. Actually, he's been able to get away with so much negative publicity off the field, yet maintain this ridiculous reputation on the field to this point.
But look at his dog, John.
Oh yeah, his his dog. I loved how when he showed up to the Dodgers and like he signed the richest deal in sports history, and then they're like, "Oh, this is great." And they're like, "Oh, by the way, I'm married." And they're like, "I didn't know that." We didn't know that he was married, but I guess he's married, and also he just has a dog.
As big of an eye roll as I possibly can have about Shohei Otani.
All right, we are going to get you ready for tonight. Padres and Giants on the other side. Plus, how about this story coming out of San Diego State today? Rocky Long returning to the Mesa. We'll explain on the other side. Plus, Padres great Phil Nevin will join us coming up at 4 p.m. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Phil Nevin on the show today at 4 p.m. We had Trevor Hoffman yesterday. We will have a series of great guests for you all week long, including Ryan Klesko, who will join us later in the week, Mark Loretta, Flash Gordon. So stay with us here on San Diego Sports 760. So this was interesting out of San Diego State. And you're thinking to yourself, what are you talking about? So I said, hey, Rocky Long back to the Mesa. And this is what was written in the UT this afternoon. Now, San Diego State sent a release that they're going to honor the 2015 Mountain West Football Championship team prior to a game against Cal this year at Snapdragon Stadium, September 20th. And then the UT went further and said that Rocky Long and Donnell Pumphrey will serve as honor warriors for the game, leading the Aztecs onto the field prior to the game against Cal. So Rocky Long, who is, of course, one of the more successful coaches in San Diego State football history. I think we're saying that properly. Rocky Long will be back on the Mesa, serving as an honorary captain prior to San Diego State's game against Cal, September 20th, 10 years after San Diego State won a Mountain West championship back in 2015. How about that?
Can come home again. Shout out Matt Kemp and Marty.
Yeah, you can come home again.
Interesting, because I don't want to say that relationship ended badly, because I don't think it did, but it was interesting how it did end. And then, going to Brady Hoke, and then Brady Hoke to Sean Lewis. But it's nice to see Rocky back on the Mesa.
I think at the end of the day, and someone correct me if I'm wrong if they see this differently, I think when Rocky left San Diego State as head coach, he saw the writing on the wall of where college football was heading. This was at the infancy of NIL.
Yeah, I don't think Rocky's a big NIL guy.
Of the portal. And yeah, I mean, he played, Rocky's 75.
Yeah.
So he played in a different era, and he coached in a different era and had that success in a prior era. And as the game, everything was just changing. I mean, everything's still changing, but he said I think he didn't want to deal with it, truthfully. I mean, he became the defensive coordinator at the University of New Mexico, which was his alma mater. He later was, after San Diego State, after he was head coach of the Aztecs, was the DC at Syracuse. And I want to say as recently as like the last year or two, he has been like coaching, I don't know, maybe like the high school level or low level, like, I don't even know, D2, D3. I'm kind of making it up, but I've seen some stories over the last like year. Like he obviously loves the game. He's been coaching in it and playing in it for his whole life. But I kind of understand those that coached in a different world and weren't going to be around for like the evolution of college football. I think it's hard enough if you're in your 30s, like Sean Lewis. I think it's even harder if you coached in a previous era.
That's why I'm surprised Bill Belichick is coaching in college.
Great point.
You think Bill Belichick wants to deal with this stuff? No, that's why he also hired Mike Lombardi.
Good point.
As the GM of North Carolina to deal with all that stuff. But yeah, the older coaches, it's a different world now, man. And you have to do things that back in, just 15 years ago, none of those. If you told coaches 10, 15 years ago that the landscape of college football would look like it is right now in 10 years, yeah, a lot of those coaches would be like, actually, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah, like you got to re-recruit your players every week. Exactly. Where they could just essentially leave. We haven't touched on the Belichick story now in months. Is this a one and done scenario? Will Bill Belichick coach in 2026 at UNC? Will he be successful in 2025?
Well, I think one of the big stories is like he's actually, I feel like, in it, going to coach at least 1 year.
I mean, their season starts in 2 weeks.
Didn't Colin have some crazy take that he wouldn't coach at all?
Did he have it recently or a few months ago? You're saying?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, there were those takes out there.
There were takes out there of people saying that they wouldn't even consider or think that Bill Belichick is going to coach at least 1 year in college. Like he's going to be out before it even starts.
Right.
He's kind of in it.
They host a game in 19 days.
Yeah, he's in it. He's coaching.
Their training camp is obviously open. I mean, is there a level of fascination? I'll be honest. Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's not necessarily like the Dion effect because he's a different type of individual, but he's won at such a high level. I mean, I don't really. Can you foresee a world where Bill Belichick is coaching in college and it just is a disaster and they look awful?
Kind of.
I mean, it didn't look good at the end with New England.
Kind of. I'm very curious to see what it looks like at North Carolina. Very curious. Because if it looks good, You'd be like,
Right.
oh, it's Bill. He's a good coach.
Right.
One of the best coaches ever. If it looks bad, then it could end very quickly for Bill in North Carolina.
Yeah, and I think either way, I don't think it's going to be some like 10-year stay. And
No,
I mean,
because his age
three.
I think it's what is it, 3-4 year deal?
But the off the field stuff has kind of died down, hasn't it? With him and his
To his credit, it's making sure that you're not in the spotlight.
ever since the book tour.
Yeah,
And like whatever played out there.
Probably not the best idea.
Right. That probably was but what did I say? No publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah, just ask NBC7 today. No publicity is bad publicity. Publicity. Can't even say it. No publicity is bad publicity.
Do we want to discuss that?
No.
Darn it. Well, for those that missed it, the tweet's actually been taken down.
It has.
But there's a saying about, I actually want to touch on that, not the NBC7 thing necessarily on the other side, but it proves an age-old point that like any one tweet or any one thing you put on social media can cause some serious problems. Any one thing.
And it doesn't take a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's the thing. It sometimes, most of the time, only takes one thing, and that's it. And you can't recover from it. Like there's no going back. Sometimes that's the case. There's certain people and there's certain organizations that can overcome that, but that's not the case for everybody.
Right. Exactly. I mean, it's crazy how you could basically, you could have a huge impact on a brand. I was trying to find the tweet, but it's been taken down. Okay. On the other side, let's get back to the Padres. Padres and Giants tonight, game 2 of this 3-game series. Padres trying to win the series here tonight. And then again, Phil Nevin will join us coming up at 4 p.m. The Padres great. He will join us at 4 p.m. We're here until 6. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by Discover. Padres last night beat the Giants 4-1. Game 2 of their 3-game series tonight up in the Bay at Oracle Park. 6:45 first pitch. Nestor Cortez on the mound for the Padres against Robbie Ray for the Giants. And with the Padres win last night and the Dodgers loss last night, Padres are just 1 game behind the Dodgers, the top spot in the National League West. Guess what, John? Discover accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past based on the February 2024 Nielsen report. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
All right, Nestor Cortez tonight. Cortez the Killer, as he's affectionately referred to by me.
They're the only person that refers to Nestor Cortez as Cortez the Killer.
The divide here, I think, is age. And I mentioned this to Brent. If you're 40 plus, you've heard of the song Cortez the Killer. Shoot, if you have the internet, maybe you've heard of the song Cortez the Killer. If you're Jim and you haven't heard of Cortez the Killer, it's irrelevant.
Correct.
Who sung the song, Brent?
I have no idea.
Or maybe it's just me that knows it.
Maybe it is just you.
No, it's not just me. Cortez the Killer. Isn't it like Bob Dylan or something?
Huh?
Crazy Neil Young and Crazy Horse.
Oh, of course.
Everyone's heard of the song.
I'm not. Everyone has not heard of the song because I have not heard of it.
Text us 70470. Start it with team, or put it in the live chat if you're watching.
Sorry, I was born in 1989. My bad.
You and Taylor.
Yeah. It's like, how could you be born there? How could you be this old? I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
Wasn't my choice.
Anyway, Nestor Cortez, forget about the nickname. Tonight in San Francisco, opposite Robbie Ray. Okay, that's your pitching matchup. Giants on hard times at home. They've lost 10 of 11 or 11 of 12 at home. The wheels have fallen off.
Well, they're done.
So they are done, but the Padres still need to do what we said earlier, which is win this series. Now, I looked it up as I get the notes sent to me.
Must be nice.
And everyone that's like, to your point, like, how could you not sweep the Giants if that played out? You take a series.
And you're going to hear it too if they lose tonight or
this
they lose
team's
tomorrow.
Terrible. Like the Giants are terrible. How could you lose to them,
How could you lose a game to the Giants?
Yeah, they suck. The Padres all-time in San Francisco are 214 and 263. So well under, which proves just my point. You might say, well, it's different. It's 2025. This team's good and the Giants aren't. I get it. But it just proves the point. It's not easy to sweep teams on the road. I don't care who it is. And listen, maybe they will. Maybe they'll win the next 2 games. It'd be amazing. They'd be playing incredible baseball. But I'm saying right now, if they win this series, even after taking game 1, I feel good about where they're standing heading into Dodger Stadium on Friday night.
Isn't it crazy if they win the next 2 days, they will match their start to the season, 14-3? So they'll have 2 14-3 stretches in their season if they were to take the next 2.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like, what?
And that's the type of baseball that, again, we saw. Think about that. From the second half of last year, 43-19, to 14-3 to start, to the way they're playing now. I mean, they've had some brilliant stretches of baseball in the last 162.
Like to say, hey, in a 34-game stretch in your season, you went 28-6. Like, what?
I mean, dude, it is kind of crazy. Again, the job, or they're winning under Mike Shildt, like just in this short period of time.
He's a good manager.
In 2 years.
No doubt in that.
93 wins last year, pacing right now for 90-plus wins. How many back-to-back 90-plus win seasons they have in the history of the franchise?
I'll answer that for you.
Is it 0?
It's 0.
Yeah. So, I mean, and there's no guarantee. They have to go 23-20 to win 90 games. Maybe they do, maybe they don't.
It's doable.
So doable. Mm-hmm. When you're playing the Rockies a million times, it's so doable. And shoot, they're beating good teams.
Yeah.
So it's so doable. But yeah, Mike Shildt, again, do you get all the flowers right now on August 12th, 2025? No, maybe not all.
No.
But like, I think we should be aware. I think he should and deserves credit, considering the history of the franchise and considering the way they've been pointed under his direction. And we've said this. I mean, he gets a good amount of credit for it.
Oh, and I have my opinions about Mike Shildt and how he, speaks to the media and what he says pre and post, and some of the things that he says and how he will never, ever, 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 not criticize a player, but basically criticize a player. there's no doubting it. There's no denying he is a really, really, really good manager. And as far as, I'm looking at like next year goes, if they're in the same spot on the deadline and they're hovering around 500 and they're playing okay baseball, how can you doubt Mike Shildt?
Second half Shildt.
There's no, if he does it for a second consecutive season here where they were hovering and playing okay, not good or not great, excuse me. And you're like, man, they got to have a crazy second half. And they have a crazy second half, which they're in the midst of right now for back-to-back years. And they do it next. I mean, they're in the same spot next year. You're like, you can't doubt
do it
him.
again.
You can't doubt him at all as a manager. The way he speaks and what he says, it's very nails on a chalkboard. All right. I can't stand listening to the guy. But as a manager, man, he's a good manager.
I agree. I mean, you sometimes have to be able to separate. Like, just because he doesn't like a question asked by, our former colleague and a friend, Marty Caswell, or just because he bites back at a line of questioning from Kevin Acee,
or would be critical about his players when they're slumping,
it doesn't mean he's not a great manager. I mean, just because his strategy with the media is different than what, I would prefer, doesn't mean he can't manage. He can clearly manage. I mean, it's not just in San Diego, by the way. I go back to the year in 2021 when the wheels fell off for the Padres. I mean, they completely fell off. And that was when they were in St. Louis and the Cardinals were completely rolling under Mike Shildt that year. And that's when the Padres were like just completely lost at sea in 2021. And to his credit, they've never been lost under him, right? It's never gotten sideways under Mike Shildt. Hopefully that continues. I mean, nobody can predict the future, but hopefully that continues under Mike Shildt. And certainly I feel good about their second half in 2025. I don't feel like everything's going haywire in the regular season of 2025, and hopefully quite the opposite, in fact, from here on out.
Yeah, it's looking good. And while the praise for Mike Shildt is notwithstanding, there has to be a lot of praise for AJ Preller for getting these guys. Because if Shildt didn't have Freddie Fermin or Ryan O'Hearn or Ramon Laureano or Mason Miller or, Nestor Cortez, Mike
not
Shildt's
as good.
Mike Shildt's not as good. He's dealing with like Trent Brooks and Tyler Wade. And, it's just the players make the manager look better than maybe he really is. But the manager keeps the ship afloat and guides the ship in the right direction.
Yeah.
And
exactly
Mike
right.
Shildt is a really good captain of a ship.
I was asked today on like a podcast, like who gets more credit. And I couldn't really, I ultimately gave it to Preller. Like when asked who gets the most credit, Preller or Shildt, I ultimately gave it to Preller because I feel like Preller's done his job. Preller can't guarantee you in the World Series, but I think he's put a roster together that is a World Series caliber roster. Now, Mike Shildt can't guarantee they go to the World Series either. Players, to your point, have to perform. But where do I give more credit in the Mike Shildt, AJ Preller conversation? I would give it to Preller. That's taking nothing away from Mike Shildt, but Preller has given him the pieces necessary the last 2 years.
Last 2 years, the deadline, the team was good, but not like great. Second half after the deadline, they became great. And they're on their way to do that right now if they continue to play this well.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe they don't play this well and maybe they slip up. But again, what are you looking at right now with this team that would take you down that path? They're a very complete team. Freddie Fermin has settled in nicely as the everyday catcher. He has been such an upgrade. Laureano and O'Hearn and Sheets, they have a good thing going right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the bottom of their lineup has completely done a 180 from one of the worst bottom of the lineups in baseball to a top 5 bottom of the lineup in baseball. And look what's happening right now. 12-3 in your last 15.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point. And again, that's why it's like in the conversation of who gets more credit, I would just be willing to give both of them credit. Like, not everything in life is a true like sports talk radio segment. It doesn't have to be like talking heads on TV. Who gets more credit for Dallas? Is it Prescott or Jerry Jones? It's not always like that. It's just multiple, there's multiple factors at play for the Padres to be good. One of them is they need a good manager. They have one. Another is they need a good general manager. They have one. I went down the path last night saying, if the Padres are in the postseason this year, I mean, I'd certainly be thinking about this if I'm John Seidler. there's no way one of my first orders of business isn't the extension of AJ Preller. In what world would that not happen? They've never had back-to-back seasons where they're in the postseason. Well, they have one time, but they won like 80 games one of those years. They've never had back-to-back 90-win seasons. Preller can't guarantee they win a World Series. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But how could you have him on an expiring deal at the end of 2025? What more do you want out of your general manager? You can do better than AJ Preller? Okay, but I think that's hard. Like, you'd have to prove that. So I think at the end of 2025, first order of business for John Sadler is extend AJ Preller. I firmly believe that.
Can you imagine a world here in San Diego where there's no AJ Preller as the general manager of the Padres?
There'll be a day.
There will be a day, but I meant like in the foreseeable future.
No, I don't.
Like next, like 2 years from now.
No, unless he leaves. Unless he has an opportunity that he perceives to be a better one. But I don't forecast that. He's been here 11 years.
The gunslinger mentality and AJ Preller's trade deadlines and off seasons and winter meetings.
Right.
And the unpredictability of AJ. At any moment he can make a move.
Right.
Keeps all of us on our toes.
Absolutely.
And as someone who has covered the Padres now for the last decade plus, I couldn't ask for anything more. Fans couldn't ask for anything more. You want your team to be exciting, do you not? If AJ's not here, get ready for potential boredom with this team. Yeah, and they're the only game in town. So the look, they'll be talked about every day, obviously, no matter what. But the thing that I don't know if you can get again if you let AJ Preller walk is that excitement of, a trade deadline with AJ Preller, an offseason with AJ Preller, a winter meetings with AJ Preller.
The riverboat gambler mentality.
Everybody's in play. He's calling on everybody. Everybody out there is a trade target. There's nobody safe. Like he probably called on Paul Skeens over the last couple of years.
That I'm not sure about, but yeah,
maybe not. But still, you get my point.
The point's valid. I mean, I think ultimately, and I've heard it before. Well, they haven't won a World Series though. Okay. Well, they hadn't won one before him either. He's put them in the conversation, has he not? So he's done his job. And I think ultimately the organization will feel the same way. And I'd be very surprised if AJ Preller went into 2026 on an expiring contract, assuming the Padres make the postseason here in 2025. All right, Phil Nevin, Padres great, will join us coming up at 4 p.m. He's on one of these coaching staffs. He's on Ryan Klesko's coaching staff for the Dick's All-American Classic. It's this Sunday at 5 p.m. at Petco Park. It is Perfect Game's premier high school baseball game, and it's being held right here in San Diego. So Phil Nevin's going to join us coming up at 4 p.m. If you missed our conversation with Lamont Butler, the Aztec for life, who hit that iconic shot in Houston, you'll hear our conversation with Lamont coming up at 4:30, and we're getting you ready for the Padres and the Giants tonight as well. Game 2 of a 3-game series right here on Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. We have received a gift, and it is from our text line. You can always text us 70470. Start it with the word team. I know we need to read some of these, Brent. We will as well. We'll get to some of these reads. By the way, Phil Nevin will join us in 14 minutes. So Phil Nevin, the Padres great, will join us coming up in 14 minutes. Do you want to do the honors?
I do.
All right.
619 number. Boo-hoo, Jim, you effing D-bag.
This isn't me, by the way.
Had Otani chosen the Padres, you'd be giving him a tongue bath like you spent last season doing with Jackson Merrill when he was doing well. How is he doing this year? I don't know enough about Otani's situation with the Hawaii real estate, but I have heard you blather about his gambling issues enough to know that you are an effing idiot. Do a little research about it, about what happened with Jack Clark when he accused Albert Pujols of being a steroid user. You better tread lightly or you and iHeart may get your asses sued for defamation. Otani can bring the FBI investigators as witnesses to support his claims of innocence about his interpreters gambling and embezzlement. And who will be your witnesses?
And who will be?
Oh, who will your witnesses be?
And who will your witness be?
A witness, whatever.
Do you think that guy's a Dodger fan?
Thanks for listening.
Dude, I actually, to be honest, 619, I absolutely love that text. I'm so glad you wrote it. I was just cracking up hysterically off air. I was like, thank you for this text. I cannot wait to discuss this for the next 10 minutes. I love the text. I thought,
effing idiot.
Now listen, if Otani comes after Jim, I'm all here for it. I want to be a part of it. I want to be here for the lawsuit. I want to be here for the defamation. I want to be here for it all. I can't wait for the ratings win that's going to be when Shohei Otani sues Jim Russell and iHeartRadio. I can't wait for it. Now, I don't think anything Jim has said, and similar to what I've said, all we've done is open the can of worms. We've never said anything definitively. That's where people get so up in arms. So like you said, no, we didn't say it. We said, how can Otani not have known about this question mark? That's not a definitive statement. Nobody's ever factually been like, Otani was here on the 12th of December in 2022 and he placed this way. Nobody's ever done that. We have just asked the questions. How can you be so good at baseball and know so little about these off the field issues that have kind of surrounded your name? And that's an amazing text.
There's more text from him. If I go into like the archives here.
Oh, you got the archives.
There's a lot about Otani.
Is this Otani?
So on June 20th, he said, shut the F up, Jim. About Otani.
Just waiting for this.
Yeah. Like, let's see here. On June 25th, geez, you're a sad sack of you-know-what, Jim. You, quote, hate Otani because he doesn't play for the Padres, but the Dodgers. How about just appreciating his talent and class no matter his team?
Yeah, it's not really our style, though.
There's a couple
of
really
good ones.
Yeah. My guess is this 619 number is a Dodgers fan.
Oh, you think, Jim? Man, you'd be a really good investigator yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
If this doesn't work out for you after Otani comes after you, could always go into like the FBI.
I can't tell you how badly I would want Otani to come after me.
Well,
I'd
probably be careful.
Actually, you know what? Thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I can understand from your perspective how bad you want it to happen.
From yours, I would.
From mine, probably not. But hey,
he's got bigger fish to fry.
If I was in the headlines of Shohei Otani sues iHeartMedia employee for having an opinion about gambling.
What if you said, other than offer an opinion, you've made no definitive statement? That the way defamation works is you say something factually that is untrue. You've said nothing of fact. You've never made a factual statement here.
When I say something like, I think Otani is shady.
Right. That's your opinion.
That's an opinion.
Exactly.
So 619 number, you listen to us all the time. I see your texts. You text us a lot. Appreciate it. Keep sending in nasty, hateful text messages towards me. I like it a lot. John loves it.
I love it.
We will read them on air. They're the gift that keeps on giving. And I appreciate you, 619 numbers.
Ooh, Jim, you effing D-bag is a great way to start a text.
Dude, that's a legendary start to a text. Wow.
Do you think he wrote it all on his phone or did he do it from his laptop?
Do you think he pulled over the side of the road? And he's just like, I gotta text him this show. I can't believe they keep talking about Otani.
If he did it on his phone, there'd be more spelling errors, I think.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. I mean, that's a long text.
Yeah.
That's a long text. Did ChatGPT play a role in this?
Maybe.
Jim's reply will be using ChatGPT. I promise you that.
No, I did reply to this person.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I said, thanks for listening, LOL.
What do you got, Brian?
I think it's funny the whole that he could sue us thing is just like when you go online and you see like, oh, don't put up a Taylor Swift meme. She'll sue you over having a meme that says the Chiefs are awful. It's just like she's not going to sue people over memes.
It's crazy that I can look at the details of this text message and know where this person is texting from. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. But it's weird. It's crazy how I can see that. Didn't know that before. Interesting.
One of those days, we have a Padres lineup out. Phil Nevin will join us in 8 minutes. The Padres lineup against Robbie Ray tonight is, well, Fernando Tatis Jr. leading off. He has 3 straight multi-hit games. Luis Arraez bats second, plays first. Manny Machado hits third, plays third. Bogarts clean up, bats fourth, and plays short. Jackson Merrill's the center fielder hitting fifth. Ramon Laureano's in left hitting sixth. Jose Iglesias will DH. Jay Cronenworth is at second, batting eighth, and Freddie Fermin, who's become the primary catcher for the Padres, back in there tonight, catching Nestor Cortez.
Wow, look at that lineup.
Wow, look at that lineup.
What do you think Shildt is going to say about that lineup when we hear from him in about an hour?
It's a good question, John. I'm just looking back at these text messages, dude. May 13th.
What happened May 13th?
This guy said, Jim, you're an effing moron if you think the FBI had any interest in covering up for Otani.
What if it was just me texting the text line?
It's your number?
Like, you moron.
You effing idiot.
It's not. But there have been some texts over the years that I've replied to, and I've had this like lengthy conversation with myself, and then I'll get a text from like Darren Smith. It's like, yeah, that was me on the text line. So like, anyway, it could be anyone.
I know.
You might want to check your phone book in your phone to see if you have this person in your phone.
Maybe I should. Yeah, this guy listens to us all the time. So appreciate you, buddy.
You know, that's the thing. As long as you listen, I like your opinion. Just keep listening is what I would say. I respect your opinion if you're listening.
Jim, you're the cringy, bitter X with your Otani bashing, October 24th, 2024.
Wow.
Yeah.
This guy has invested heavily in some Otani trading cards, has he not? This guy's all about Otani's legacy.
He has an Otani jersey. He has a bobblehead or two.
Yes. Yeah. He sits like in the Otani section.
I mean, we're going back to him texting Darren's show.
About Otani?
Yeah, about everything.
All right, you do the deep dive.
I am. It is hilarious because he really does not like me. Or she.
Well, again, it's not going to be the first listener. This isn't the first person you've rubbed the wrong way.
Here we go.
Dude.
2024, February 2024.
Was he ripping you when you were producing Darren's show?
Jim can always be counted on to give the impression that he's still working on his English fluency.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. There were literal crickets about the Harbaugh press conference. No.
There were literal crickets. That's hilarious.
Oh man, this guy is on a roll here. And it's funny too because and you know what's actually hilarious about this, and I'm calling you out, is all the text messages that I've read, you've responded to them.
Like, correct.
You said practice makes perfect. LOL, Schaefer.
Well, I know. Who cares? I'm like agreeing.
I know. You said when he said, Jim, you're the cringy bitter X, you said correct, Schaefer. So you're an a-hole. You're encouraging
this
guy.
Texting back and forth with myself.
Yeah. Some guy said, really, Jim? The Cubs put up a literal light show in Sacramento. Literal, figurative. Learn the difference already, moron. You said, LOL, Schaefer.
I thought it was good. I'm encouraging him.
You're my goodness.
All right, let's switch gears. Padres.
Welcome to Life with Jim Schaefer when he called me a sad sack of you know what.
At least I put my name on it.
I do too.
It's not. Yeah, I'm saying it. This is me saying it. Oh my gosh. Padres great. Phil Nevin joins us on the other side. This is Jon and Jim. That is.
All right, this update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres, Giants, game 2 of their 3-game series tonight up in the Bay Area at Oracle Park. 6:45 first pitch. Nestor Cortez on the mound for the Padres against Robbie Ray for the Giants. With the Padres win last night and the Dodgers loss, Padres are now just 1 game behind the Dodgers, the top spot in the National League West. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio, get an extra 5% off.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of Jon and Jim. We are getting you ready for Padres and Giants, and it's always a great time to connect with a Padres great, Phil Nevin. And again, we had Trevor Hoffman on yesterday. Let me set this up because the Dick's All-American Classic is Sunday. This Sunday, 5 p.m. at Petco. It's Perfect Game's premier high school game. This has some of the top high school players in the country. Attendance is free, by the way, if you want to go. First 1,000 fans get a free poster with all the players on it. Enter at the home plate gate at Petco. There's even an autograph opportunity with these Major League Baseball legends before the game. And you get all the information at pgallamerican.com. That's pgallamerican.com. So, Phil, we appreciate you hopping on. So you're going to be on Ryan Klesko's staff this weekend for this All-Star game, going up against Trevor Hoffman's team and staff. What's kind of on the line here? Like, it's kind of a big deal, right? This high school All-Star game at Petco.
Thanks for having me first, but yeah, I mean, I think for us, this will just be a fun opportunity to be around these kids. I've watched this game on TV several times. Personally, I've been obviously doing a lot of amateur skate for the Chicago White Sox and handling a lot of things with our draft. So to kind of get a head start on the kids for next year will be a lot of fun. Be in uniform with some of my old teammates that stayed close friends this whole time, and being at Petco Park all together is going to be something special for all of us. There's a lot of events over the weekend that I'm looking forward to. So this is a really cool deal. I mean, if you look at last year's game and the games in the past, a lot of these kids will be, top 3 round picks. They're all going to major colleges. It'll be a great time. It'll be a great game, a good brand of baseball with some really talented, young high school players.
You've played and you've managed in the big leagues. What's harder to do, managing or playing every day?
Oh, I mean, I think there's just 2 different entities of that. I mean, we all would love to play forever, but that's not going to happen. I love them both. I really do. The playing aspect, it's more of a on your body. It can take something on you mentally. The managing part's the mental part, but it's the relationships you create both ways. Being a player and doing it as a manager is those are things that I cherish certainly.
We're with right now Phil Nevin, again, a Padres great with us. Again, he'll be in town this weekend. The Dick's All-American Classic is at Petco Park. It is a free event. Lots going on this weekend. More information at pgallamerican.com. That's pgallamerican.com. Phil, what do you make of the Padres on field right now? The success that they're having under Mike Shildt, got to the postseason obviously last year, made all these acquisitions at the deadline. From afar, what do you make of the successes here in San Diego?
Yeah, I mean, I know they're playing well. To be honest with you, I've been doing a lot of work with the league system with the White Sox, and really focusing on that. I certainly check box scores. I see how teams are doing. Look at the standings. My son, I know it's kind of a taboo thing here, but he's in the Dodger system, so I pay attention to a lot of that a little bit more maybe. But I do know, and it's an exciting time down at Petco. It's the stadium, how special it is and what it's brought to our community. And I know it's vibrant. It's live every night, and certainly a great place to play. And
the competition's just been good. I know the rivalry with the Dodgers has been great. But to be honest with you, I haven't watched a lot of Padre baseball. I just kind of follow it in the box scores and know it's, with what's going on right now. I mean, heck, I think they've gotten within a game, right, of the Dodgers now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a nice little race to watch down the stretch.
Yeah, and they've been playing really good baseball. They're 12-3 in their last 15. They definitely have momentum on their side. From a manager's standpoint, Phil, how big is momentum heading into the stretch run of a baseball season, making a push, for the playoffs?
Well, it certainly is. I mean, you want to be playing your best baseball at this time of year, heading into September, and they seem to be obviously playing very well. And it can happen quick. I mean, you look years past, the year the Cardinals won the World Series their last time. I mean, they were kind of on the back burner for a while, and then ended up winning like 18 out of 20. It happened with the Oakland A's a couple times. But certainly the momentum, when you have such talented players and they start feeling that, yes, it grows and grows and grows. And it kind of becomes a feeling on the other side, like, I don't know how we can beat this team tonight. And, whether it's you're winning from getting ahead early in the game or something, you just know something's going to happen late, whether you're on the dugout that has the momentum or you have the dugout that's not, you can sense that on the field. And I'm guessing that they have a lot of that right now.
Phil Nevin with us right now. Again, he will be in town coaching the Dick's All-American Classic this Sunday, 5 p.m. Petco Park. More info at pgallamerican.com. You mentioned the dynamic Padres-Dodgers, right, in the NL West. You played in that series. It's really developed here over the last handful of years. What was that series like as a player, and where do you see that series right now? That seems to have become one of the better rivalries or series in the sport right now when the Padres and Dodgers get together.
Yeah, it's well known. I mean, they've had some some run-ins here lately, and I mean that's just all part of the competition of it. I know there's a lot of respect on both sides for one another. Always fun games to watch. They, when we were here, it probably wasn't as prevalent as it is now. I mean, you certainly knew who you were playing. You get to, it's a quick 2-hour ride up the freeway. I enjoyed it a lot. I grew up a Dodger fan, so I grew up going to games at Dodger Stadium. So walking into that ballpark, it just felt special. But yes, it's certainly turned into one of baseball's better rivalries. Not quite Yankees Red Sox. I don't think anything's ever going to match that, or Cubs Cardinals, but they're certainly adding a lot to what's going on here. It's healthy. It's great for the game. It's something that people tune into. And the more people you get watching, the better you're going to be in the long run anyway, and the better our game is.
Talking about, your sons and making, in the big leagues and making in pro ball, how has it been as just a father to watch your sons, following in your footsteps here and, playing professional baseball?
Yeah, especially with what I'm doing now, I get an opportunity to see him more. Kyle's in AA in the Dodgers system. He missed the first few months of the season with an injury that happened in spring training, but he's kind of getting back into the swing of things. Tyler, I don't know if you guys knew, but he's in Japan playing professionally and absolutely loves it. I went over for opening day and their opening series. I'm going back here in a couple weeks to go watch some games and see him. And the brand of baseball over there is just really incredible. It's a lot more like the old, pitchers go deeper into games. The fundamentals, you watch him take infield, you watch him practice. It's like he be over here. I keep saying that, but it really is. I mean, the fundamental parts of the game, they are so efficient and good at. They do it well. It's very enjoyable to watch. But the main thing is my son's really enjoying it over there. He's having fun. He's having a lot of success. He's trying to your extension to stay over there. So I'll be making more trips over there, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a great country. It's just a really cool place to be and eat and take in the sights and watch great baseball.
Phil Nevin with us right now. The Padres great on Jon and Jim. What changed for you, Phil, in your career? You get traded to San Diego. I mean, Padres fans, of course, remember your career fondly. You hit most of your career home runs here with this organization, 156 with the Padres. You get traded here prior to the 1999 season. What do you attribute to all your successes once you got in this uniform?
Well, the short answer is Bruce Boccia. He gave me a chance to play. I knew it was probably my last opportunity to have something like that as well. But he also, there was just a way about him, the way he managed his teams and the way he felt, and you wanted to do well for him. I mean, I always wanted to be a good major league player, but I think there was a lot of things that he instilled that maybe I wasn't focusing on the right way. And biggest thing is I got a chance to go out there and play third base every day. When I got that, I took it and ran with it. And I certainly wasn't going to let him down with the way I went about it and the way I played. I think the fans, however they felt about me, they knew I played every night and hurt. And unfortunately, the regret I have about being a San Diego Padre was we never got a chance to play in the postseason. And you know, I put a lot of that on myself. I really do. I look back and that's your only regret is we didn't get the chance to play in postseason ball here. I came the year after they won the World Series and I was traded in 05, and then they went to they won the division or went to the playoffs the next year. But hey, maybe there was something to that, right?
You were the problem, Phil.
Anyway, you look back at it and yeah, that's the one thing I wish that we would have been able to do is win more games and playing some postseason games here and have a chance at that being that last team standing. And but I loved my time here, really did. Got to play half of it at Petco and half of it over at Qualcomm, and you know, really the emergence of what this organization has become kind of started around that time, and really cool to be a part of that.
Do you have hopes of managing in the big leagues in the future?
Yeah, I still do. Yeah, absolutely. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing now. There's no, I kind of joke around all the time. There's no stress to it, and
Right.
Really having a lot of fun to it. But then you start thinking, you do miss the stress. You do miss being in the dugout and being a part of that. And you know, if an opportunity arises, they're hard to get. There's only 30 of them. But I certainly do miss being in the dugout as much as I enjoy what I'm doing now.
Yeah, great point. Less big league jobs than there are U.S. senators, for example. Yeah. And of course, Phil Nevin has managed in the major leagues. And of course, had a standout career here as a player in San Diego as well. You can see him this weekend. He'll be in the dugout on Ryan Klesko's staff this weekend. The Dick's All-American Classic at Petco, a free game Sunday at 5. One of the premier high school all-star games in the country from Perfect Game. Attendance free. Again, you can enter at the home plate gate at Petco. Autograph opportunities before the game with some of these legends for Major League Baseball as well. And again, all the info at pgallamerican.com. Phil, we appreciate you taking time for us and enjoy this weekend down at Petco Park.
Thanks, Phil.
I appreciate it. Looking forward to it, and thanks for having me on.
All right, great stuff with the Padre great, Phil Nevin, who again hit 156 home runs for the Padres, still one of the top totals in the history of the franchise. In fact, he's one of the top 4 or 5 home run hitters in the history of the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, former All-Star with the team as well.
So. Yeah, 01?
01, I believe 01.
It's interesting how he gets traded in the offseason after 98.
Yeah.
And you think about everything that 98 represents, but 96, they've got a great team. 98, they're in the World Series. There's still high hopes, right? Mm-hmm. At this period of time. And then the next time they break through isn't until the mid-2000s, and he was already gone. But you look at some of the gaudy seasons that he put up offensively. And yeah, from a slugging perspective, there's very few Padres that have rivaled his successes in a Padres uniform. All right, on the other side, we're talking more. By the way, tomorrow, Mark Loretta will be on the show. You talk about a guy that had some success in the Padres uniform, Mark Loretta.
And he's in that organization right now in an advisory role, in the executive role. So he's definitely keeping up with this team, and he's probably living the roller coaster ride right now.
100%. So he will join us tomorrow. We'll get to the wrap on the other side. If you missed Lamont Butler with us earlier, you'll hear from Lamont coming up at 4:30. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Phil Nevin. Again, good to connect. We'll have Mark Loretta again joining us tomorrow as we get you ready for some baseball this weekend. The Dick's All-American Classic, a high school showcase. That'll be Sunday at 5 p.m. at Petco Park. Padres Giants will play, again, game 2 of their series coming up at 6:45 tonight. If you missed Lamont Butler, you'll hear from Lamont, the Aztec great, in about 10 minutes at 4:30.
And there's a real possibility by this time tomorrow, Padres could be leading the National League West, John.
Tied atop the National League West?
Well, they play a day game tomorrow.
Oh, by this time tomorrow?
Yes. This time tomorrow.
What time do the Dodgers play tomorrow?
The Dodgers play the Angels tomorrow night. So theoretically,
2 wins and a Dodger loss tonight, and the Padres are a half game up.
Correct.
It'll be interesting to see how it goes back and forth. I'm not as, listen, I see the engagement to it. I think people couldn't be more excited about where the Padres are in the standings, but like we make this point all the time. It's like, it's not really about where you stand on August 13th. Although I actually think the hopes go even higher. Like the second you're up in a division, it's almost that much more deflating if you don't win it. Like, oh, we had a 1-game lead August 13th. What happened?
But they did have a 9-game lead in the division that
yes,
if this were to happen, if the Padres win tonight and tomorrow afternoon, and the Dodgers lose tonight, this time tomorrow, the Padres will have taken over the Dodgers in the National League West, and the Dodgers will have blown a 9-game lead.
What will your reaction to that be? I'm speaking to both our listeners and also to you. Like what's my time? I'm just thinking this out loud. Let's say it happens. Very possible. 100%.
I think
what's my reaction there?
My reaction is, if you're a Padres fan, I think excitement / anticipation for what could come, and that they are firmly going for a division, and that the mindset of all Padres fans listening out there is shifting, and it probably has already shifted.
That's
from,
the thing.
Hey, let's just make the postseason, to, hey, let's win the division and get a first-round bye. Like, that's where the mindset has shifted, and it's because the Padres have played really well, but it's also because the Dodgers have played really poor.
Yeah, I think what I would say in that scenario, if we're on the air tomorrow and the Padres have won 2 and the Dodgers have lost 1, and technically the Padres are a half game up in the division, I think what I would say is like, stay the course, remain calm. Nothing's been won or lost. It's encouraging. My expectations don't change because, like I said, I think if you're 2 or 3 back, you have the same expectation. You're right there. You want to finish the job. To me, what's much more telling is the next 6 games against LA, the next 2 weekends. You could be a game up heading into LA. Where are you when you leave it? You could be a game back heading into Petco Park. Where are you when that series ends next weekend? I'm fascinated to see how the Padres look on the field against a very, it looks like right now a very mortal LA team. Does that change when they take on the Padres because they need the Padres just to get going again? We have no clue. I mean, anything can happen the next 2 weekends. But I'm with you. I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting right now with them being 1 back. Mm-hmm. It's exciting, and that remains the case whether they're 1 up or 1 back for me moving forward.
It's a true race in the division. The race is on. It's between the Padres and the Dodgers. The final 40, how many games?
3 for the
43
Padres.
Games for the Padres. I don't know how many is remaining for the Dodgers, but around 40-ish.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, the race is on for the division. That's all you could ask for.
Yeah, they've played the same number of games, so they both have 43 games to play.
Now we might be saying things are different after the 6 games they play against the Dodgers. I hope that's not the case. I'm gonna bank on that the way the Padres have played right now, and the moves they have made, they have put themselves right in the exact right position to compete with the Dodgers for the division.
Yeah, completely. I mean, it is interesting you say that. Like, the story will change after the 6 Dodger games. I just don't know how. Like, is it, hey, the Padres got over the hump and went 4-2, or here we go again, they went 2-4, or the 2 teams went 3-3 against each other, and now it is a true, photo finish over the final 30-something games of the year. But just think about what will ultimately be on the line. I'm not forecasting one team to run away from the other. Things can happen. But let's say you get to the final week of a season and the teams haven't run away from each other. Very possible. and one team's one up or one team's one back. There's just so much on the line in that hypothetical. One team could be getting a bye. The other team could be a road wildcard team, hypothetically. So that's what we're heading for. We're like you're playing for a lot. There's ultimately a lot on the line over the final 40 games of the season, and it could come down to the final series or two of the year. I'd be surprised if it didn't, truthfully.
I agree with you. It's hard to think that the way the Padres are playing, and if they stay healthy, the team that AJ has assembled, how that team wouldn't be competing all the way to the finish line here of the regular season.
Right.
Postseason, we'll see. Padres, it's a tough National League. It's a tough National League. Brewers, Phillies, Dodgers are going to be tough no matter what. Cubs
are good. I think Mets have really fallen off.
They have. But still, if Mets get hot, I mean, who knows?
Right.
I mean, it's a tough National League for sure. And what we said, about 3-4 weeks ago, maybe less than that, the teams that are making the playoffs in the National League are the teams I just named. I don't think the Reds are going to sneak their way in unless the Mets really do continue to, deep dive here.
Right.
Giants, they're done. Cardinals, no.
Right. Yeah. What's the wild card? It's a great point. I haven't even looked now that
it's Cubs, Padres, Mets. Mets, I think, hold a maybe 1.5 or 2 game lead over the Reds for the final wild card spot. 2 game lead,
which means the Padres are 5.5 games up on a playoff spot.
That happened quick.
But I mean, the Mets have lost 7 straight. So I don't know if they can be penciled in or not. But you're right. It's like someone has to go. Like someone has to be the 6th seed, and none of these teams have played brilliantly. So I would guess the Mets have the leg up there, but yeah, someone's gonna have to. I mean, the Padres you couldn't be in better standing in terms of making the postseason. If you're you can't be in a better spot. Now they have bigger goals than that, but they're in a good spot right now to make the postseason. All right, Lamont Butler on the other side. If you missed it earlier, the Aztec for life back in San Diego, working out, getting ready for professional basketball after just a terrific 4-year career here, 1 year in Lexington with the University of Kentucky as well. Lamont Butler, the Aztec for life on the other side. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, so if you're maxed out on credit cards or struggling with high interest debt, you could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey guys, it is Schaefer. Get cash now without touching your low rate first mortgage. There are no appraisals or waiting, no BS. It's the Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto. It really is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. Huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. It's your home equity. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Call now to start the conversation, 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. That's 619-207-4336. Get debt relief now at loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
All right, this update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres and Giants, game 2 of their 3-game series tonight up in the Bay at Oracle Park, 6:45. First pitch, Nestor Cortez on the mound for the Padres against Robbie Ray. For the Giants, with the Padres win last night and the Dodgers loss, Padres are just 1 game behind the Dodgers for the top spot in the National League West. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get extra 5% off.
All right, Jon and Jim, if you missed Phil Nevin, you'll hear a conversation with the Padre legend coming up. And we caught up with Lamont, speaking of a legend in San Diego, Lamont Butler. 4 years at San Diego State, working out right now at SDSU. Earlier today, he was at practice, but he's been working out in San Diego. He's getting ready for professional basketball. We started our conversation by asking Lamont, what's it like anytime he gets back to San Diego?
Man, it's awesome, man. San Diego's my home. I really want to be here forever. It's tough to leave here. Just to come back here and, feel the vibes of just the beach and the city, and, see all the people that I used to be around, especially like being around the Aztec basketball program. It's just great. It just feels like home.
We saw your video during the draft, and there was a lot of former Aztec players with you. The bond that you guys have created feels like a bond that will never be broken. Can you just talk to us about that special bond that you have with former teammates here, especially, former Aztec players?
Yeah, just like you said, the bond will never be broken. I've formed a bunch of brothers for life that I always, will be supportive of. And, these are the guys that will be in my wedding, a part of my wedding, and just throughout life. Just guys that have just allowed me to grow as a person. And, they impacted me in great ways my 4 years here. So it's just a credit to Dutch and his staff for putting such a great group of guys together, and just allow me to form brothers for life.
Lamont Butler with us right now, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. I think this speaks so highly of you as an individual and as a player that it's hard enough to be remembered at any one school, but you're going to be remembered fondly at 2 schools. I mean, you left for Kentucky. You helped guide the Wildcats to a Sweet 16. I see the reaction from Kentucky fans everywhere in terms of the impact you made in 1 year. What was the experience like? I think from afar here, everyone was rooting for you. What was the 1 year experience like for you after 4 years at San Diego State?
Man, it was a one-of-a-kind experience, man. It was nothing like, playing for Kentucky. I had an awesome year. We had a great group of guys, a team that was really good. I think, we were derailed by some injuries, but, just the people that were in the program, Coach Pope and his staff, they were all awesome. And then their fans were great. So I really enjoyed my 1 year there. I just think I've been blessed to go to 2 schools where the fan bases are, amazing. So, and also just the rich culture of history between both. I just had an awesome time in college.
What was that moment like when you got the call from the Atlanta Hawks to sign you after the draft?
Man, it just felt like a dream come true. To get a call from an NBA team and for them to want you a part of their organization, it was just something I've been working for my whole life. Really just a blessing to just, to have this opportunity that, many want to have, but, not many do. And, for me to have my foot in the door, I'm just ready to take this opportunity and run with it. And hopefully I can continue to grow my game and grow as a person.
Lamont Butler with us right now, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. So take us through this process. What has this experience been like for you post-college? Because I know you were in the summer league, but you were dealing with an ankle, I think, at the time. So how's your health and what's the process like to build up for this upcoming season?
Ankle's feeling good right now. Like you said, I've been working out. I'm out here in San Diego working out and, training. In about a month, I'll go up to Atlanta and start to work out there in the facilities and be around the team. And then I want to say training camp's going to be around October or late September. So right now I'm just gearing up for training camp and getting ready to go out there and, show my abilities, and hopefully continue to move up on the roster and gain a roster spot.
And learning from a guy like Trae Young, I mean, an all-star player in the league, one of the better point guards in the NBA, that whole process, what is that going to be like for you to learn from one of the better players, better point guards in the league?
Yeah, man, I'm just going to try and soak up all I can. He's, like you said, one of the best players in the league, and he does a lot of things that I can take and add to my game. So I'm ready to go out there, learn from him, play aside him, and compete against him. And I think for this first year, my goal is to try to make him better and push him to his limit. So I'm gonna go out there and just try to have fun and grow my game as well.
I want to get your thoughts on this version of the Aztecs heading into this upcoming year. I know your college career is over, but you played with a number of these guys. I'm thinking about Miles Byrd and Reese Waters, and there's so much excitement here locally for San Diego State. Obviously younger a year ago, reached the tournament, now a more veteran group. You've been in the jam. What do you think of this version of San Diego State getting ready for next season?
Yeah, I went to practice today and just seeing how much talent was in the gym, man. It was great to see. I think, if this team can be really cohesive and, set all egos aside and just focus on winning, I think it'll be a very special year, for the guys. And, Miles, one of my close friends, I think he's ready to make that leap and just become a big-time leader and a big-time player for you guys. So I'm excited to watch, man. I'm going to be rooting on, and I can't wait for the season to get started.
How often do people ask you about the shot in Houston?
I still get asked about it quite a bit. My favorite part of it is hearing other people's stories of like where they were at and when the shot happened. So it's always a fun memory that I always have, something that will live with me forever. I'm just grateful for that moment for sure.
You mentioned kind of these lifelong bonds that were formed that season, and even that season had a lot of adversity that came with it, right? I go back to,
sure.
I mean, it's amazing how college basketball works, and specifically the NCAA tournament, because you went through a little bit of everything in your college career. You were a first-round exit, right, against Creighton. I'm trying to do the timeline right, and then you broke through. And I remember leading up to that March Madness, you said, "We're not just going to win; we have a chance to go far." What was it about that moment in time with that group, with all the veteran pieces? I mean, all these lifelong friends of yours, the Keyshawn Johnsons, the Nathan Menses, the Igwuka Ropes, so on and so forth. I'm missing a number of them, obviously, as well. What was it about being in that moment that gave you the faith that you could accomplish what you ultimately did as a team?
I felt it from the jump that it was more of that we were playing for each other rather than playing for anything else. And we all loved each other so much that we didn't want to let each other down. And so that's how we competed every day in practice and just how we kind of went about just our day just together. So we continued to make each other better. And I knew that, when we were playing for each other, I knew Matt Bradley, I knew Nate, I knew Keyshawn wasn't going to let me down, or I knew that they could trust on me. I wasn't going to let them down. And that's just kind of how we went into the season. And just as the season progressed, you could see that we played with that same heart and passion for each other. And, it just led to a special year.
I think it's cliche sometimes when people are like, well, this player will never have to buy a drink in this town. But Lamont Butler's legacy is cemented for forever in San Diego, along with his teammates on that iconic national championship game appearing team. Lamont, it is great to hear your voice. It's great to hear you're doing well. Please pass along your best to your family as well from us. And congratulations on everything. And we'll be following from afar, and we'll be rooting you on. And thanks for doing it here today in San Diego.
Thanks, Lamont.
Thank you, guys, man.
Again, said it earlier, say it again. He is one of my all-time favorites to put on an Aztec uniform in any sport. And it was great to catch up again earlier today with Lamont Butler. We will get to the wrap coming up. We can actually do it on the other side. We will hear from Mike Shildt, who has spoken with the media, and we will play that pregame sound for you coming up, hopefully around 5 p.m. But we'll break here, Brent, because we'll get to the wrap on the other side. So this will give us an extra minute or two. We'll get to the wrap on the other side. If you missed Phil Nevin with us earlier, you'll hear that conversation coming up at 5:30. But we'll hear from Mike Shildt as the Padres get ready for the Giants. We'll get to the wrap on the other side.
Oh, you got Shildt sound?
We'll have Mike Shildt sound coming up at 5 p.m. This is John with Jim, who happens to be here as well.
Thanks.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. We hope to hear from Mike Shildt coming up in about 15 minutes. If you missed Phil Nevin on the show earlier today, you'll hear that in the 5 o'clock hour as well. We are here until 6. We do want to remind you that we all remember that one teacher made a difference, who believed in us, challenged us, or just made learning fun. Now's your chance to say thank you to Big Way with iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate an outstanding public school teacher who's gone above and beyond for their students to win $5,000 to stock their classroom with whatever they need. And today's teacher of the day, Tammy Pence, who teaches at the Leadership Academy in Oceanside. People told us she's a great teacher, always feels proud of how ready her students are for their next school year. What she tries the most to do is make sure all of her kids know how much she cares and believes in them. So congrats to Tammy. You're in the running to win $5,000 for your classroom. Nominate your favorite teacher at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
Congrats, Tammy. As I have to turn my microphone on.
Yes. Congrats. Indeed.
Breaking news, a little bit
Okay,
breaking news.
let's hear it.
It's not like this massive news, but it's a little bit of breaking news. Alden Gonzalez tweeting out moments ago, Brock Stewart. You might be asking yourself, who's Brock Stewart? The name sounds familiar. Oh yeah, it was the Dodgers' big bullpen acquisition at the deadline. Dave Roberts just announced that he has some shoulder inflammation and he will be going on the IL and undergo testing tomorrow.
I mean, the one thing that
man.
Yeah, it's like they've gone through it from a pitching staff perspective. I don't know what the record is for pitchers being placed on the injured list, but they must be approaching it. Have they not? Have they not set the record?
I feel like every one of their pitchers
Been on the IL.
has had some type of shoulder or arm issue this season.
Not typically what you like to say about your pitching staff, that
No.
you've put them all on the IL over the course of 1 year.
Yeah, I mean it's a coincidence, John. It's not a Dodger thing. It's probably a coincidence.
I mean, this whole idea that, well, they're getting healthier. You know, if they just get all these guys healthy at the right time, maybe. I mean, a year ago, they didn't have a lot of starting pitching, for example, but they had a very good bullpen. So that's interesting. So Brock Stewart, who the Dodgers just acquired, will go on the IL, as the Padres will be in LA in 2 games.
From a Padres perspective, you know, you don't want to see anybody get hurt, but sorry, it's
Right.
the sport, and
Sure.
great timing because I mean they brought in Brock Stewart to be a big part of that bullpen, and you're not going to see him this weekend. Oh, shucks.
Oh, it's tough.
Oh, man,
I'm sure if you were heading up
that's
there,
tough, yeah.
if you're a Padres fan heading up there, you're probably like, you know what? Of all the
I wanna
players
see
I want
Brock
to see this
Stewart.
weekend, it's not a Padre. I want to see reliever Brock Stewart.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
What do you hope we're talking about more this October? The Padres or Taylor Swift's new album?
Are we just gonna make this like the hardest rap questions ever for Brent to read?
Yeah, because we're involving Taylor Swift. So her new album comes out in October.
Yes, I think we'll be talking about. Let me think here. Yeah, we'll talk about the Padres more, John.
Well, we hope to be talking about the Padres more. Hopefully, the Padres are still playing when her album comes out, which is when? October 13th?
Probably, yeah.
So you got to get to you know how you're playing October 13th? Let me do the math for you. You're in the NLCS because the NLDS will be over by October 13th. So hopefully we're talking about the Padres and their successes around that time of year, as opposed to, I don't want to spend the whole week on Taylor Swift.
No.
In fact, if we did, I would take a week off.
We're not going to. But, I mean, it's going to be a huge album release, that's for sure.
Oh, huge.
It's all that Aaron could talk about last night.
I bet it. Aaron being your wife, right?
Correct, yeah.
I get it. Next question.
How many views will the New Heights podcast get with Taylor Swift tomorrow?
I think this is a legitimate question to ask because it potentially could break the record for the most viewed YouTube podcast in U.S. history.
Now, is that over a period of time, Jim? Is that like a 24-hour after release or something?
It's a good question.
Because there's been stuff that's been on the internet for forever.
Correct, but things don't jump like by 1 million views over.
Yeah, by and large.
You're right.
Yeah.
The record for the most views on a podcast YouTube episode is 110.8 million. It's like a Saudi podcast, so it's not a US-based podcast. So the most views for a US-based podcast was a Shannon Sharp podcast with Cat Williams.
That's insane.
Almost 90 million views.
Yeah, that was the one when Cat went off on Hollywood.
Yeah,
Right.
and just
That
going
lingered for
crazy.
like months.
Is the wrap-up show in the top 10 for that Dodgers-Padres Game 5 last year?
No, I don't think so.
It's too bad.
Now, I will
Just lie and say Taylor Swift's going to be on.
So here's the
She's
thing.
late.
Here's the thing. Her album announcement video last night that was collabed with New Heights and her personal account. Guess how many views it's done in less than 24 hours?
Views on like Instagram or where else? was
Instagram.
that? On Instagram. I mean, Instagram gets crazy engagement. Tens of millions?
Give me a number.
29.9 million.
154 million.
I do think Instagram, though, is a little different than getting people to a YouTube podcast sometimes.
This is her first podcast that she's ever done. And it's with her boyfriend.
Yeah, I mean,
potential fiance.
It probably will break records, would be my guess.
I don't think it's going to break the record, but it's going to get close.
Yeah, I mean, you've combined everything. You've got the male audience because of the football. You've got Taylor and the Swifties. You've got a new album in there as well. So, I don't think they'll be lacking for views come tomorrow night.
No.
Next question.
Will the Padres be in first place by this time tomorrow?
Well, that would mean that the Dodgers have to lose tonight and the Padres would have to sweep the Giants.
Right.
I'm going to go with no. I'm going to go
Why
with
do you
no.
hate the Padres?
Well, because I think the Dodgers are going to win tonight, or at least they're going to. The Padres aren't going to sweep the Giants.
Right.
Hope I'm wrong, because that'd be fun to talk about tomorrow, leading up to Dodgers Padres series.
Right.
And going into that series, if the Padres win the next two games, I don't know what the Dodgers schedule is, if they get an off day on Thursday or not.
Yeah, they must.
They have to, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's just a 3-game series against the Angels.
Yeah, so Thursday. Yeah, it is. So let's go through this real quick here. If the Padres sweep the Giants, say the Dodgers take one of the next two from the Angels.
They'd be tied.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's definitely plausible and possible. I mean, the Dodgers tonight, minus 180 in Anaheim. Now, they were a favorite last night. They were a favorite a lot, and they've lost a good amount. But, yeah, favorite tonight. Padres, by the way, even money tonight. Nestor Cortez, Robbie Ray against a really struggling Giants team, specifically at home. But, yeah, I'll agree with you and say this time tomorrow, I'll say that there may be, a half game out this time tomorrow because the Dodgers win tonight.
I think the Padres are going to go into this weekend series against the Dodgers. One game behind them?
But it'll either be, there's only a
or
couple of possibilities at this point.
Right. It's either tied. It's
one. It could be two back,
ahead.
one back, even, or a game up. But they're going to be right there. Is the point? They'll be right there heading into Dodger Stadium this
100%, which makes this weekend series
just
even
that much
juicier.
bigger. That much bigger. I agree. Next question.
How many wins will it take to win the NL West?
All right, so I'm going to go with, I think if you get to 95, you win the NL West.
Yeah, me too. And that would take 28 and 15. I mean, that's going, which they're doing right now.
Yeah, I think if you get to 95, you are going to win the National League West. That means you still have to play some amazing baseball, but that also means the Dodgers have to play some amazing baseball too.
Yeah,
because you're neck and neck with them. It's not like the Dodgers are, 3 or 4 up on you right now.
Right. To get to 95, you got to go 28 and 15. They got to go 27 and 16. And I'm with you. I think
they've not been playing good baseball at all.
Yeah, I mean, if you go 28 and 15, you'd be pretty confident. In fact, there's probably a scenario where the winner of the NL West wins like 92 games.
Probably.
In fact, it's probably more likely that they win 92 games than they win like 96 games. And that's a first time in a while that someone's going to potentially win the NL West with 93 wins.
I know this is looking actually, you know what? I'm not going to say it.
Do it.
No, I'm not going to say it.
No, you can't do that to our listeners.
Trust me, the listeners
they don't want you to say.
They don't want me to say what I was going to say.
You would have been like the ultimate jinx, probably.
Yeah, they don't want me to say what I was about to say, so I'm not going to say it.
All right, we will hear from Mike Shildt coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, and we will hear from Phil Nevin, who joined us earlier. Just a great player, obviously, in a Padres uniform, former manager of the Angels, joined us earlier, and you're going to hear from Phil Nevin coming up at 5:30. But Mike Shildt from San Francisco, the Padres are getting ready for game 2 of their series against the Giants tonight at 6:45. We have Jim's back page coming up as well. We have a giveaway for you today, and we'll do that in the 5 o'clock hour as well. It's going to be a 4-pack of tickets to see Michael Franti August 16th at the Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Theater on campus at San Diego State. Tickets and information available at Ticketmaster.com. But Phil Nevin at 5:30. We'll hear from Mike Shildt coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, plus Jim's back page ahead. Our final hour of Jon and Jim. Hour 4 of Jon and Jim comes your way next on San Diego Sports 760 and live right here on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Padres and Giants, game 2 of their 3-game series tonight up at Oracle Park in the Bay, 6:45. First pitch, Nestor Cortez on the mound for the Padres against Robbie Ray for the Giants. And with the Padres win last night, the Dodgers lost last night. Padres are just 1 game behind the Dodgers, the top spot in the National League West. Progressive Insurance says if you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses. If your place is damaged, get a quote for renter's insurance at progressive.com.
We're celebrating the Padres past. It's Padres Legends and Alumni Week on San Diego Sports 760. Listen as Jon and Jim speak with some of your favorite former Friars. Now, live from the studios of San Diego Sports 760, it's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is the final hour of Jon and Jim. We are with you until 6 p.m. If you missed Phil Nevin, he was with us earlier. You'll hear a conversation with him coming up, and we'll have that conversation for you coming up at 5:30. We do hope to hear from Mike Shildt. I'm going back through my email from yesterday. Tiffany yesterday emailed us from the Padres right around me. By us, I mean me.
Correct.
She sent us the audio of Mike Shildt's pregame comments in that 5 p.m. range. So it's now in the 5 p.m. range.
When you got a 6:45 start, they push it back a little bit.
You're right. You got a little bit of time. I love hearing I need to hear from Mike Shildt. Now, it's not always entertaining, but sometimes it is. So hopefully we can hear from Mike Shildt. We will hear again from Phil Nevin coming up at 5:30. We will get to Jim's back page as well. We're getting ready for game 2 of the series where the Padres will play the Giants coming up later on tonight at 6:45. We started today just by talking about the Padres play and what they did yesterday, and they beat Logan Webb, and they just did everything that was necessary, whether it was Darvish or their bullpen or the timely hitting. They're doing the things that you want them to be doing at this time of year. They're now 12-3 in their last 15 games. They're winning in different ways. They're getting healthier, knock on everything when you say that, but last night was good. Hopefully tonight follows the trend of what we've seen here over the last 14 or 15 games.
Yeah, and Darvish last night pitching the way that he did. Because, I mean, let's be real here. He has not been consistent or good since his return. He's had one good outing.
Now? Yeah, what's his ERA now?
Right now, his ERA is 5.61.
Okay.
And he's made what? This last night was his 7th start? I believe it was his 7th start.
Yeah, it was his 7th start.
Yeah, his 7th start this year. Okay. He's not thrown more than 84 pitches. Last night was the season high for him in pitches.
Right.
Thrown in a game. 2 of his last 3 starts, though, have been really good. You got a 7-inning shutout performance, 2 hits against the Mets. And then last night, 6-inning shutout performance. 6 innings, 1 earned run because you get that homer to Raffy.
Oh, right.
Against the Giants, 6 strikeouts, no walks. July 30th against the Mets, 7 strikeouts, no walks. Freddie Fermin caught him last night.
That's right.
I think that is also an interesting thing to point out. Freddie Fermin is getting the bulk of time behind the plate with these pitchers.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So you're seeing the shift here where Freddie Fermin is catching every day for the most part.
Yeah, he's catching most days.
Yeah, like if they're in a must-win game, Freddie Fermin is behind the plate.
Yeah, day, night, he might not catch, right? Like if you play the Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, like he's going to get 5 out of every 7
Like he
starts.
might sit tomorrow, but you also have Pivetta on the mound, so
Is tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow's the day, right?
Tomorrow's the day game.
That's
yeah,
right. That's right.
But I think that's a inside baseball thing to look at is like Freddie Fermin now taking over the reins of this pitching staff. That's a huge shift late in the season.
I mean,
they've done really well,
and it doesn't come as a surprise.
No,
I mean, if you gave up young starting pitching for him, you saw this quote here from Kevin Acee in his newsletter that said like the reviews they got on Fermin were so high that they're almost unrivaled. Said AJ Preller, we've never traded for a player that we've gotten more positive reports after the trade than Freddie Fermin. People were coming out of the woodwork talking about when they played with him, coached him, managed him. And as Kevin writes, it's working out so far. I mean, it's really worked out. And I know it's not the biggest sample size, but even if the numbers drop, and they will, he's not hitting 370 or whatever.
Well, he actually is with the Padres.
But he's not hitting 370 with the Padres this year. He is now, but he's not hitting 370.
Right.
We can't fast forward 2 months and expect Freddie Fermin.
I get it.
to hit
He's only
370.
played 8 games with the Padres,
Yeah.
but he is hitting 370.
But I'm saying he's vastly a better option.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he hits 270 or 370, he's already proven to us he's the best option they have.
And one of the things that I guess was kind of holding him back a little bit in Kansas City, actually holding him back a lot of bit, is you're behind a Hall of Famer.
You're behind. Yeah, it's a generational catcher.
Salvador Perez is going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. And
A complete Royals legend.
you're not overtaking that until Salvi calls it quits. And that could be it for another year or two. I don't know.
Yeah, and he's not a kid. And for me, he's 30. Like,
is,
now is
yeah.
your opportunity.
Now is your time. And like you can put in pen, permanent ink, his name. Kevin even mentioned it the other day with us.
Mm-hmm.
He will be catching 100 plus games next year for the Padres, health withstanding.
Absolutely.
You know, he caught 111 last year, or at least he played in 111 games last year for the Royals. And he did, 271 average from your catcher. You serious?
Dude, what we saw the first half of this year?
He's in 270 right now, or 269, excuse me. I mean, his OPS isn't going to be anything crazy, but like the one thing that you would love to have from just your catcher position is, hey, can you get on base, hit for average?
Just a threat, just an offensive threat.
Yeah, you can't be a guy like Martin Maldonado who hitting 170, 180.
Yeah, he's proven to be more than a threat. Again, small sample size, but it's a vast improvement. I have good news, bad news for you.
I want the bad news first.
The length of Mike Shildt.
Excuse me?
The conversation.
What? Pause?
Mike Shildt's pregame comments with the media are short.
Okay, there you go. I thought you were going somewhere that
the length of the
not
audio
suitable for work.
The audio length.
Okay, there you go.
Is 2 minutes.
That's it?
We are only going to get 2 minutes.
Is he a feisty Shilty today or not?
I have no idea. He must have been. I mean, what happened?
Well, who's in San Francisco? I don't think
Palm.
Scans is there.
No, I think it's Palm. I think it's Mike Palm. It might just be 3 questions for Mike Pomerantz.
Maybe.
So, Brent, you have this audio. And
2 minutes.
Brent will cue it up and we'll play it here because it's only maybe a second or two more than 2 minutes. So a short Shilty.
Short Shilty?
With the media today.
What are you trying to say, John?
I mean, listen, it's...
what? You just keep digging.
2 minutes.
There you go. It's two.
That's it.
2 minutes?
2 minutes.
Two. It's two.
Shilty, which I don't know what we're talking about. We have 2 minutes.
It's short.
We have 2 minutes with Mike Shildt.
It's not long. It's short.
2 minutes.
Okay.
You tell me if that's long.
It's short.
Where does this start, Brent? Brent's gonna get on Mike here.
When I cut the ends, it's only 1:45.
Oh,
Minute 45.
Oh my goodness.
It starts with, what does he expect from, what did you call him earlier?
Cortez the Killer?
Yeah, from Cortez the Killer. And he gives a very Shilty answer.
Let's listen.
Strikes, controlled counts. His arsenal is his arsenal. How he uses it's going to be relative to what he has that day, what him and Fermin figure out, and then what they're trying to do with the game plan. But ultimately, by controlling counts, hitting your spots.
What do you make of Diaz Fermin tandem and the way they've worked together? Obviously, Fermin has a lot to learn. What Diaz can impart.
Yeah, I think there's been a nice onboarding across the board for Freddie. The credit goes to Freddie. He's been able to come in. He's the one coming into a new place, and there's an awareness to him coming in new, but he's the one that's having to learn and talk and absorb, and so he's done a really, really nice job. Diaz has done a fantastic job of talking with him, working with him, sharing information with him, talking about the pitchers, and also being able to relegate some of his playing time to him. So it's been a good teammate.
I'm very aware that you've answered questions similar to this to some extent, but then you're a very day-to-day guy.
Right.
But the idea that first place or tie for first place is attainable tonight. How do you view kind of being part of a division race and what that is like?
The same way I viewed it the first day of spring training. There's an expectation for this team to compete for this division and compete for a World Series. And, the day-to-day steps you take allow you to put yourself in a position to do that. And today we're in a position to do it. But nothing's changed because of where we're at. It's just actually just illuminates how important it is just to take care of things day to day and to be better as we go, and then put yourself in the best position as possible. And there's, at least for me, there's peace in that.
There's peace in that.
So that was it.
That's all we got out of Mike Shildt.
Did it end after that, Brent? Like, did people say, "All right,
guys."
thanks"? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
He cut the front to the answer. He cut the back when it ended. That's all we got. That's all we got.
I mean, I get
Any
it. What else are you gonna ask him?
I was worried for his response to the, "Hey, you're in a pennant race. What do you think about playing for like a division?"
I
mean,
know.
what do you think he's going to say?
Why are you asking me that question? He's gonna be snarky back to AJ.
I like the that was AJ
Cassaville.
Oh, it's interesting. It didn't sound like him to me.
Yeah,
in hearing that
was AJ Cassaville, and I believe Mike Pomeranz asked the first question.
Yeah, well, we didn't hear from Mike Pomeranz.
And I don't think Kevin had any intentions of asking.
Yeah, not sure if he's going down there pregame.
I don't think Kevin.
I mean, Kevin's not right. By 5, he's already written his newsletter, and he's not going to put in any Mike Shildt quotes until after the game.
Right, and they're just kind of useless quotes anyway.
Strikes.
No. I mean,
strikes.
There's things he says.
Thanks, Mike.
There's things he says that are interesting. I mean, I kind of like his nothing changes from a division standpoint. Like, you got to take care of business each and every day. It's true. Like, and he's like, I'm at peace with that. That you can't win the division. You can't just be like, oh, we'll turn it on in September and win the division. No, you're gonna have to be good before then. You're gonna have to put yourself in a position to win a division, and they've done that, and he's at peace with it.
And remember what Mike Shildt said when he was first introduced as the Padres manager here? He specifically talked about winning the division.
Right.
And we all kind of scoffed and laughed at it. Like, huh?
What did he say?
The division. And last year, I mean, they got kind of close, and then they tailed off a little bit, and Dodgers, won by a couple of games, right?
Yep.
And then obviously we know what happens in the postseason. But this year, I mean, that could come true of his vision of winning a division title. Could happen this season, but they got to continue to play good baseball, and the Dodgers have to still continue their slide, because if the Dodgers get hot and you kind of fall back just a little bit,
it can get outside of your grasp quick. It can.
Yep.
You can go either way quick.
Who was that relief pitcher that brought up the division? Everyone's like, "Oh, you're new here, huh?"
Yeah, who was that before the season? Or like, remember that?
Oh,
so we
yes.
want to win this division. Like, did you?
Yeah, and everyone looked at him like he was crazy. He had
There's no way
lobsters
he's on
for
his
years.
roster.
Was it Kyle Hart?
Yes.
And
Yes,
he's not
that's
on
who it
his
was.
roster.
It's Kyle Hart. He's nowhere to be seen.
So we want to win this division. I'm like,
Kyle, bro.
We should introduce ourselves to our teammates, Kyle.
Yeah, people don't even know your name in the clubhouse.
We need to like get over the hump and win this division. Like, Kyle, if we do, it's not necessarily going to be because of you.
Yeah, if you gave Manny Machado 100 guesses to guess your name, he would not guess it. And that's no slight on you. It just, sorry, I don't think Manny Machado would know who you are.
Phil Nevin at 5:30. On the other side, we've got a giveaway for you. Jim's back page is ahead as well. We are here until 6 p.m. This is Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, the iHeartRadio or iHeart.
iHeartRadio, love that station.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances by Bryan Adams, John Fogerty, and more. September 19th and 20th in Vegas, 2 nights, 1 stage. Buy tickets at AXS.com. While the world is listening on iHeart, you could be there. 3 chances every weekday for you to win your trip for 2 plus $1,000 spending money. Next chance to text and win happens at 9 a.m. on San Diego Sports 760. All the info at sportssd.com/festival. Do have a giveaway for you. We'll do that in the next handful of minutes. Tickets to see Michael Franti, August 16th, Calco's Credit
let's go.
Open Air Theater. That would be a 4-pack of tickets. We'll let you know when to call for those tickets. You're going to hear from Phil Nevin coming up in about 10 minutes or so as well.
Yeah, just also a show reminder. I feel like we haven't said it enough. Thursday show starts at 3 p.m. and we're going till 7.
3 to 7.
Yeah, 3 to 7.
3 to 7 Thursday. Which, if you're a listener and you're there at 2 p.m., it's going to be different.
It won't be us.
But just for a day.
And
so
we didn't get fired.
No, it's Aztec Fan Fest at Snapdragon Stadium. Sean Lewis will join us on the show. Brian Dutcher is going to call into the show on Thursday afternoon. We'll hear from coaches. JD Wicker, I think, will join us Thursday as well. You can get to Fan Fest Thursday night, free event, tickets at goaztecs.com.
Now, Erin is gone this weekend. She's actually going home because her best friend is giving birth. So she wants to be there for her.
Must be nice.
Her due date was actually Saturday, but she still has not gone into labor yet. So we're like a little worried that Erin's going to be there and
won't give birth.
There won't be a baby.
Well, she'll still see her friend.
But the whole point of going there is to see the baby.
There's going to be a baby. That's how this works.
I know. The due date was the Saturday the 9th.
Let me run through
and
this.
It's now the 12th.
Here's the deal. There's always a baby.
I know there's a baby.
By and large, there's going to be a baby when you're 9 months pregnant.
But Erin is going to
lose her mind if she goes all the way to the east. How long is she there?
She's there for 5 days.
Oh, there's going to be a baby. You can't, right? You can't keep the baby in your belly for forever. I think the math doesn't support it.
No, but maybe the due date wasn't correct. Maybe instead of the 9th, it was like the 20th.
Dude, you know how they are now with like StatCast, and they got the data, they got the analytics on
you
this.
just go in there and they just pop it out.
They know they got all the
just
stuff.
ask them to induce. Just be like, hey, I only got like 5 days, guys. Just induce it.
Here's the thing, though. She wants to have a natural birth.
Well, who's this really about? Them or your wife?
Right,
Come
exactly.
on now.
So
it's
she
about
wants
my
to have
wife,
a
obviously.
I know.
a natural birth, and her due date has passed. And Erin's going to be there for 5 nights. It's not until this weekend. She should be good. Famous last words.
Yeah, famous last words.
The second
exactly,
that plane takes off back for San Diego, look,
baby Kennedy is out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh no,
is that the name of the baby?
It is the name of the baby. Yeah.
Did you just spoil that?
I didn't spoil anything. I swear I didn't. I did not spoil anything. But where I was going with this is like this weekend, Erin out of the house, Dodgers, Padres, like. She asked me, what are you doing this weekend?
Are you going to a card show?
There's no card show.
Yes, you have to do more research.
I could, but I'm waiting for our card show on the 23rd.
Right. So next weekend, we're going to the West Coast Card Show in Anaheim.
Not next weekend.
Next weekend, not this weekend.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh,
what? You're
yeah.
probably like double booked. Not this weekend, but next.
You're right. It is next weekend.
Next weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a lot to accomplish between then and now because we have there's just a lot going on over the next 2 weeks, but not this weekend, but next is like one of the country's largest card shows.
Yeah, I didn't find any card shows this weekend. There was a card show.
Maybe because the West Coast Card Show is the next week.
Probably.
But here's the thing then. So you have the house to yourself for 5 nights?
Yeah, she's leaving Friday, so I'll have the house Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and she gets back Tuesday night.
Dude. You can do whatever you want.
I know.
That's how it works.
Here's the thing. I'll probably just do nothing. I'll probably just sit there.
Yeah, watch the Padres and the Dodgers.
I know, exactly. It's going to
perfect.
be, I don't want to say it's going to be great because I'll be like just alone, but still.
You're with Bentley?
Yes, I'm with Bentley.
So you're just going to sit in your home for 5 days. It'll be 78 and sunny out every day. You're just going to be inside. You won't even know what's happening.
No, I will go outside.
You'll walk the dog.
Yeah. But when your wife leaves or if your significant other leaves,
it's kind of odd.
It's a weird feeling because you're like,
is.
I'm always around them. And what do I do?
It's very odd.
Last time she left for Palm Springs to hang out with Claire, she was only gone for like 2 nights. And I was leaving. I was like going out and getting food at like 10:30 at night. I'm like, what is happening? Why am I going back to like when I was
Being a
24
bachelor,
years old? Like, this is really weird.
There's some initially you're like, wow, I have the freedom. And then within like a few minutes, you're like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
And then you're like, do I need to clean the place up? And like, there's all these things that go on in your mind.
I know.
It's very weird.
Is it weird that I feel the same way about my dog?
No, it's actually
Yes,
Where
fine
like
if
when
you don't
she had
have
to
a
go to the
dog.
vet to get spayed, she was gone for like half a day. It felt like she was gone for like a week. I'm just like sitting there like, what would I do normally? Oh,
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
probably like chase her all over.
It's very odd.
when you have a companion, when you have an animal, or
Even a child.
you're like, what's happening? Well, I don't have a child, but
Right. No, you don't. But apparently Aaron's friend is about to.
yes, and Aaron's gonna get all the baby fever.
Why aren't you going backy? Oh, yeah, she is. Let's talk about that. Oh, we have a moment.
What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the younger version of Aaron and Jim.
Well, don't expect anything anytime soon, okay?
Well, at some
Famous
point,
last words.
yeah, at some point, maybe the next 9-10 months. Boom.
9-10 months.
Welcome. You could probably do the 10 to 2 show. Let's get going here. We could do at 10 a.m.
Perfect.
Your kid starts in like a year. We're planning
Fine,
on this.
everything's
Hopefully
fine.
you'll have twins. So you
No.
have a co-host.
Twins.
Darnay's got twins.
That's a whole.
Can you imagine?
That's a whole nother
if
type
you
of
had
hell.
twins. Double the diapers, double the routines, double the food.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby?
Twins.
No.
You and Darnay could hang out.
No.
Twins.
No.
All right. On the other side, Phil Nevin.
Twins.
Phil Nevin on the other side. But call right now. First caller has a 4-pack of tickets to see Michael Franti August 16th. Calco's Credit Union Open Air Theater. First caller to 877-767-4760. You are going. You've got 4 free tickets to see Michael Franti August 16th. Calco's Credit Union Open Air Theater. Call now if you want those tickets. 877-767-4760. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Phil Nevin, the Padres great, on the other side. This is Jon and Jim. All right, hey guys, it is Jon and Jim again for our friends over at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place, and now open the hotel and spa at Hamul Casino Resort, the next level of luxury. It's arrived. Treat yourself to a stunning new stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, and all the thrills of Hamul Casino Resort, now all in one unforgettable destination.
And savor San Diego's ultimate endless dining experience at the all-new Hamul 23. From their world-famous lobster brunch served every morning to the luxurious VIP endless dining experience each evening. Indulge in chef-curated specialties, seafood, prime cuts, and decadent desserts, all with stunning panoramic views.
You'll love their food options. You really will, including Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, a great spot to watch all of the action and to enjoy some great food over at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
This update is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Padres and Giants, game 2 of their 3-game series tonight, 6:45 up in the Bay. Nestor Cortez on the mound for the Padres against Robbie Ray for the Giants. Padres are just 1 game back of the Dodgers in the National League West. Progressive Insurance says if you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses. If your place is damaged, get a quote for renter's insurance at progressive.com.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Jim's back page is ahead. Brian, you've got our conversation with Phil Nevin, who joined us earlier. And if you missed that conversation, Phil Nevin in town this weekend for the Dick's All-American Classic, Sunday, 5 p.m., Petco Park. This is a free high school baseball showcase put on by Perfect Game. By the way, more info at pgallamerican.com. That's pgallamerican.com. Phil Nevin is going to be coaching alongside Ryan Klesko. Trevor Hoffman's also managing in this game. But we started there just about getting back in the dugout and coaching against Trevor Hoffman. Take a listen.
Thanks for having me first. But yeah, I mean, I think for us, this will just be a fun opportunity to be around these kids. I've watched this game on TV several times. Personally, I've been obviously doing a lot of amateur skate for the Chicago White Sox and handling a lot of things with our draft. So to kind of get a head start on the kids for next year will be a lot of fun. Be in uniform with some of my old teammates that stayed close friends this whole time, and being at Petco Park all together is going to be something special for all of us. There's a lot of events over the weekend that I'm looking forward to. So this is a really cool deal. I mean, if you look at last year's game and the games in the past, a lot of these kids will be, top 3 round picks. They're all going to major colleges. It'll be a great time. It'll be a great game, a good brand of baseball with some really talented, young high school players.
You've played and you've managed in the big leagues. What's harder to do, managing or playing every day?
Oh, I mean, I think there's just 2 different entities of that. I mean, we all would love to play forever, but that's not going to happen. I love them both. I really do. The playing aspect, it's more of a on your body. It can take something on you mentally. The managing part's the mental part. But it's the relationships you create both ways. Being a player and doing it as a manager is, those are things that I cherish certainly.
We're with right now Phil Nevin, again, a Padres great with us. Again, he'll be in town this weekend. The Dick's All-American Classic is at Petco Park. It is a free event. Lots going on this weekend. More information at pgallamerican.com. That's pgallamerican.com. Phil, what do you make of the Padres on field right now? The success that they're having under Mike Shildt, got to the postseason obviously last year, made all these acquisitions at the deadline. From afar, what do you make of the successes here in San Diego?
Yeah, I mean, I know they're playing well. To be honest with you, I've been doing a lot of work with the league system with the White Sox and really focusing on that. I certainly check box scores. I see how teams are doing, look at the standings. My son, and I know it's kind of a taboo thing here, but he's in the Dodger system, so I pay attention to a lot of that a little bit more maybe. But I do know that it's an exciting time down at Petco. It's the stadium, how special it is and what it's brought to our community. And I know it's vibrant, it's live every night, and certainly a great place to play. And the competition's just been good. I know the rivalry with the Dodgers has been great. But to be honest with you, I haven't watched a lot of Padre baseball. I just kind of follow it in the box scores and know it's, with what's going on right now. I mean, heck, I think they've gotten within a game, right, of the Dodgers now. Yeah. So it's going to be a nice little race to watch down the stretch. Yeah,
and they've been playing really good baseball. They're 12-3 in their last 15. They definitely have momentum on their side. From a manager's standpoint, Phil, how big is momentum heading into the stretch run of a baseball season, making a push, for the playoffs?
Well, it certainly is. I mean, you want to be playing your best baseball at this time of year, heading into September. And they seem to be obviously playing very well. And it can happen quick. I mean, you look years past, the year the Cardinals won the World Series their last time. I mean, they were kind of on the back burner for a while. They ended up winning like 18 out of 20. It happened with the Oakland A's a couple times. But certainly the momentum, when you have such talented players and they start feeling that, yes, it grows and grows and grows. And it kind of becomes a feeling on the other side, like, I don't know how we can beat this team tonight. And, whether it's you're winning from getting ahead early in the game or something, you just know something's going to happen late, whether you're on the dugout that has the momentum or you have the dugout that's not, you can sense that on the field. And I'm guessing that they have a lot of that right now.
Phil Nevin with us right now. Again, he will be in town coaching the Dick's All-American Classic this Sunday, 5 p.m. Petco Park. More info at pgallamerican.com. You mentioned the dynamic Padres-Dodgers, right, in the NL West. You played in that series. It's really developed here over the last handful of years. What was that series like as a player, and where do you see that series right now? That seems to have become one of the better rivalries or series in the sport right now when the Padres and Dodgers get together.
Yeah, it's well known. I mean, they've had some some run-ins here lately, and I mean that's just all part of the competition of it. I know there's a lot of respect on both sides for one another. Always fun games to watch. They, when we were here, it probably wasn't as prevalent as it is now. I mean, you certainly knew who you were playing. You get to, it's a quick 2-hour ride up the freeway. I enjoyed it a lot. I grew up a Dodger fan, so I grew up going to games at Dodger Stadium. So walked into that ballpark, it just felt special. But yes, it's certainly turned into one of baseball's better rivalries. Not quite Yankees Red Sox. I don't think anything's ever going to match that, or Cubs Cardinals, but they're certainly adding a lot to what's going on here. It's healthy. It's great for the game. It's something that people tune into. And the more people you get watching, the better you're going to be in the long run anyway, and the better our game is.
Talking about, your sons and making, in the big leagues and making in Pro Bowl, how has it been as just a father to watch your sons, following in your footsteps here and, playing professional baseball?
Yeah, especially with what I'm doing now, I get an opportunity to see him more. Kyle's in AA in the Dodgers system. He missed the first few months of the season with an injury that happened in spring training, but he's kind of getting back into the swing of things. Tyler, I don't know if you guys knew, but he's in Japan playing professionally and absolutely loves it. I went over for opening day and their opening series. I'm going back here in a couple weeks to go watch some games and see him. And the brand of baseball over there is just really incredible. It's a lot more like the old, pitchers go deeper into games. The fundamentals, you watch them take infield, you watch them practice. It's like he be over here. I keep saying that, but it really is. I mean, the fundamental parts of the game, they are so efficient and good at. They do it well. It's very enjoyable to watch. But the main thing is my son's really enjoying it over there. He's having fun. He's having a lot of success. He's trying to do your extension to stay over there. So I'll be making more trips over there, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a great country. It's just a really cool place to be and eat and take in the sights and watch great baseball.
Phil Nevin with us right now. The Padres great on Jon and Jim. What changed for you, Phil, in your career? You get traded to San Diego. I mean, Padres fans, of course, remember your career fondly. You hit most of your career home runs here with this organization, 156 with the Padres. You get traded here prior to the 1999 season. What do you attribute to all your successes once you got in this uniform?
Well, the short answer is Bruce Bochy. He gave me a chance to play. I knew it was probably my last opportunity to have something like that as well. But he also, there was just a way about him, the way he managed his teams and the way he felt, and you wanted to do well for him. I mean, I always wanted to be a good major league player, but I think there was a lot of things that he instilled that maybe I wasn't focusing on the right way. And biggest thing is I got a chance to go out there and play third base every day. When I got that, I took it and ran with it. And I certainly wasn't going to let him down with the way I went about it and the way I played. I think the fans, however they felt about me, they knew I played every night and put hurt. And unfortunately, the regret I have about being a San Diego Padre was we never got a chance to play in the postseason. And I put a lot of that on myself. I really do. I look back and that's your only regret is we didn't get the chance to play in postseason ball here. I came the year after they won the World Series and I was traded in 05, and then they went to they won the division or went to the playoffs the next year. But hey, maybe there was something to that, right?
You were the problem, Phil.
Anyway, you look back at it and yeah, that's the one thing I wish that we would have been able to do is win more games and playing some postseason games here and have a chance at that being that last team standing. And but I love my time here, really did. Got to play half of it at Petco and half of it over at Qualcomm, and really the emergence of what this organization has become kind of started around that time, and really cool to be a part of that.
Do you have hopes of managing in the big leagues in the future?
Yeah, I still do. Yeah, absolutely. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing now. There's no, I kind of joke around all the time. There's no stress to it, and
right.
Really having a lot of fun to it. But then you start thinking, you do miss the stress. You do miss being in the dugout and being a part of that. And if an opportunity arises, they're hard to get. There's only 30 of them. But I certainly do miss being in the dugout as much as I enjoy what I'm doing now.
Yeah, great point. Less big league jobs than there are U.S. senators, for example. Yeah. And of course, Phil Nevin has managed in the major leagues and of course had a standout career here as a player in San Diego as well. You can see him this weekend. He'll be in the dugout on Ryan Klesko's staff this weekend, the Dick's All-American Classic at Petco, a free game Sunday at 5, one of the premier high school all-star games in the country from Perfect Game, attendance free. Again, you can enter at the home plate gate at Petco, autograph opportunities before the game with some of these legends for Major League Baseball as well. And again, all the info at pgallamerican.com. Phil, we appreciate you taking time for us and enjoy this weekend down at Petco Park.
Thanks, Phil.
I appreciate it. Looking forward to it. And thanks for having me on.
And again, Mark Loretta will join us tomorrow right here on Jon and Jim as this series with Padres legends continues tomorrow. We'll take a time out. Jim's back page coming up next. This is Jon and Jim. AM radio keeps vital voices accessible. Congress can secure its future, but we do need your help. Text AM to 52886 now to support keeping AM radio in cars. Tell your member of Congress to pass legislation now and keep AM radio in cars. Standard message and data rates apply. Tomorrow on the show, Mark Loretta, all right, who had he had some big years, obviously, in San Diego. And also tomorrow on the show, Kevin Acey, as we will recap Padres Giants because the series will end tomorrow afternoon. And of course, you can catch us reacting to it all. We'll hear from Mike Shildt postgame and more tomorrow right here on Jon and Jim.
Yes, we will.
What a day.
Still got a busy week still ahead
We got
of us.
a busy week. We got Padres Giants tonight. We'll have a wrap-up show tonight as well on YouTube. And then again, the Padres and the Dodgers after the series ends in San Francisco. And right now, let's get to this.
All right, because this was the only thing that was being talked about in my household last night, I have to talk about it here on the show just to get out of my system. It's Taylor Swift.
Do it.
So, I mean, this woman, like, she sets things up like years in advance. It's kind of impressive when you go back and you look at all the Easter eggs that she drops on her fans that her fans have no idea what she's doing. And then like a year later, it all turns out to be like, oh my God, she told us a new album was coming out on August 12th a year ago, but we didn't see it.
Gotcha.
And so her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, got announced last night at 12:12 on the 12th of August. And a post that she put out last year on October 24th. I think it was her last show of the Eras Tour, or one of her last shows of the Eras Tour. And it was just a video of her walking into a stadium. And as she walking into the stadium, there is like this sign of, it says A12. And fans now realize that A12 was August 12th.
Oh, so it said A12 and August 12th was her next album.
And during her Eras Tour, the last song that she would play, there would be a mysterious orange door that would show up at the back of her stage. And everyone's like,
what's that for?
What is that for? And the new album color is orange. And then to take it even further, her stage, because the picture that she posted on her, I guess, all of her social media accounts is a picture of a lock, right? It's a lock, and the lock is orange. And, you know, the colors are something that are matched up in her Eras Tour. But what people don't realize, and people found it out last night, and everyone's like, oh my God, it makes sense. Her stage was in the shape of a key.
And this is the lock.
It is the lock. Opening like her new album. So like, look, you say whatever you want about Taylor Swift. She does some things that she does like a years in advance to set up for albums that aren't even out yet.
Right. We didn't even set up the last like segment. I mean, we just go on the air. We're like, figure it out. She's doing stuff like 3 years in advance.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a reason why she's had this level of success.
It's kind of impressive, to be honest with you. You're like,
yeah.
I can't believe she did that. And like, she had I guess the set on her Eras Tour that was like a showman set. Travis Kelce was a part of it. She announced her new album, Life of a Showgirl, with Travis Kelce, who was a showman in her tour.
Okay, we should get her on. Talk more about it.
Yeah, she's on next week,
good.
actually. She's on it. Could you imagine,
She's
dude?
part of our music legends from iHeartRadio tour.
Dude, everyone in this building would be like, you got Taylor Swift?
Yeah, it's not happening.
Not happening. No chance in hell. Taco Bell, John, is launching a new permanent Baja Blast flavor. On August 14th, they're releasing the Baja Midnight Blast. Are you excited about this? It's a new
Baja Midnight?
Yeah, it's a new permanent flavor. It's the first of its kind of the Baja Blast drinks.
What's it taste like? The middle of the night?
No, it's a purple-hued beverage. It has a where's the taste?
Berry, maybe?
Yeah, it's like a regular berry blast flavor that's a dark purple color. Yeah. So if you go to Taco Bell, be on the lookout for a new Baja Blast flavor on August 14th in 2 days.
Wow, that's huge.
Finally, A meteorite, John, that crashed through a Georgia man's roof in June this past year was taken to the University of Georgia, scientists at the University of Georgia. It's been dated at 4.56 billion years old.
What do you mean it crashed through some guy's living room?
Like it was just
Did
like a
they know?
tiny little rock. It wasn't like an actual meteorite.
Could it have killed him?
No,
It did hit him in the head.
it's just like a tiny like little rock.
Well, a tiny little rock, well, like a bullet's a tiny little bullet. I mean, a tiny little rock traveling from outer space, wouldn't that kill you?
Yeah, if it hit you in the head, which it didn't.
The space rock left a dent in the floor and sounded like a gunshot upon impact. The University of Georgia wrote in a press release over the weekend.
Well, it's been dated to 4.56 billion years old before Earth was formed.
For 4.56 billion years, this thing was rocking and rolling. No pun intended. It's a rock. And then boom, one day it ends up at like the University of Georgia.
Yeah.
That's bizarre, man. And that
When
is
you say
bad
it
luck.
like that.
If that thing hits you in the head, that's bad luck.
You're dead.
It's been rolling around for 4.56 billion years somewhere in the ether. And then boom, here it is in my house.
And now it's with Kirby Smart at the University of Georgia.
And not surprisingly, it was also going too fast because all their players are
Fast.
yeah, and they it's neither here nor there. But it was a
They're going to give it to a
speeding
quarterback
analogy.
for NIL.
Right.
So what am I supposed to make of that?
You don't find that interesting?
Well, did people know that it was coming? Was there a heads up like, yo, guys, if you're in like the Atlanta area
No.
or Athens area, there's going to be a meteor.
When this thing is as big as it is, which is not very big, I don't think NASA is looking out for objects that are that tiny.
That kind of pisses me off because I could go outside right now in my car and boom, I get hit in the head by some 4.56 billion year old rock.
Right. And it's if you look back, its sole purpose was to hit you in the head and kill you.
4 billion
years ago.
4 billion years?
4.5 billion years, John, before the Earth was even formed.
Come on. How do they know that?
Carbon dating.
Science.
There's probably some, carbon dating, science. I don't know how, but I think that scientists are pretty close when I don't think it's on the dot, but I think they're around a couple 100,000 years.
Did it have something to do with Taylor's album? Did she plan this 4.56 billion years ago?
That would be like crazy for forward teasing.
Yes, I planned it. I was hoping it was going to take out the whole world, so I wouldn't have to listen to any of it.
Formation of the world.
Yeah, this was Brent's idea. He wanted to just kill us all before the next Taylor Swift album came out.
Oh, I found out what the mysterious purple flavor is in your Baja Blast too, if you care.
What is it, Brent?
Passion fruit.
Of course.
Passion fruit.
I like me some passion fruit.
Said it's the same lime Baja Blast. It's just they're going to mix passion fruit flavors with it.
Perfect.
That's a crazy headline, though. The meteorite that hit this guy's living room is older than Earth.
Right?
I mean, that's insane.
Dude, that's nuts.
Insane.
We are gonna, man.
What happened to the other thing you were
Space.
telling me about? There's some rock
The
that's actually,
final frontier.
What about the alien rock?
These are the voyages of the Star Trek Enterprise.
All right. Good talk.
The USS Enterprise. Sorry.
We'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. to talk more about it. Not that, truthfully. We're not going to talk about that tomorrow at 2 p.m. But we will recap Padres and Giants and get you ready for the Dodgers because the Padres will have about 48 hours or more to get ready for the Dodgers series Friday
Could they
night.
be in first place tomorrow afternoon?
Well, they could.
I know.
They could.
Will they?
We'll find out tomorrow afternoon. Join us at 2 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. We've got a wrap-up show for you tonight as well, following game 2 of the series between the Padres and the Giants. If you missed anything today, sportsst.com for Brent and Jim. I'm John. Keep it here. This is San Diego Sports 760.
Okay.
Bye-bye.